What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Three Star Draw. I am down south of 77, aka Three Star Draw. It's every other Wednesday night, so you know what that means. Time for Backyard Battlefield, and I am here with my brother to the north.
Still Crow, what's going on, y'all?
What's going on? We can do that here too. I don't think my cousin will mind. We can do the dice clay here too. What's going on? What's happening, man? How you doing, Crow? What you been up to?
Oh, I'm in full panic mode trying to pack for a camping weekend with my son and praying that my pre-orders don't come in the day that I'm leaving. Because that's usually the kind of luck I have is everything cool will show up and then I'll wait 3 days at a cottage to come back home and get them. So not much
Yeah,
else.
if only it could show up before, and maybe you could do some on the scene reviews.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure everybody loved that while you're on a camping trip.
Yeah, well, that's exactly how that would go, and I would be happy to do it if there was a good figure to review out in the woods. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Ronnie Trick Shots Crows on the casting couch.
I've got the part.
Yeah, he's got the part. So
I'm holding auditions though. We need a new
yeah,
co-host
open
over here.
open auditions. That's right. You're on the market, I believe now. So the couch is open. So what's the weather doing up there? I always like to ask you that.
Oh, it's nice and warm now. Leaves are out in the trees, birds are doing things, and it's nice. It's getting. I had to keep the AC on in the car or the windows down all day today because I was pretty hot. So.
It's pretty hot.
Nothing compared to what you got. Yeah, I feel really hot right now.
It was I don't know what it made it up to today, but yesterday it was 90. It was our first day of 90 degrees here, so it's already started, and it was humid as balls. It had ball soup. It
Yeah.
was bad, dude. Uh and you guys might notice I sound a little bit stuffy. I've been really sick since Sunday afternoon. I've had a summer cold, and it has kicked my ass. I really should have taken Monday off, but I powered through it and paid for it. But it's kind of breaking up. So if I mute myself or start coughing, I'm going to try to hit mute because I've been having some bad coughing fits today. So I got a pile of cherry cough drops over here I've been eating for the last 3 days. But sunny, it's been pretty. Finally quit raining, but of course, the weekend is coming, so it's supposed to start raining Friday and Saturday and Sunday. So,
Yeah.
so it
I've been,
goes.
well, I was listening to it. You saw me, I was trying to play with my monitor. It's one of the reasons why I started broadcasting out of here is because I got a big TV and I was trying to call up the chat, but I couldn't.
Oh man.
Yeah. So
So
now
you
we
don't
put
see.
the phone.
All right, so man, you got to see it with the small text now. So
Yeah.
um yeah, it's we've got a con here this weekend
Ooh.
um that I may try and go to. I don't know. I mentioned it to Purple Elf, and she probably forgot about it. I don't know if I'm gonna go or not because it's not. It really isn't very good. Like the Nashville, it's the Nashville Con. It's kind of we went in 23, and it was. I went to meet Sarge. That was the first time that I met Sarge, and that was the main
Mm.
reason that I wanted to meet him. Chuck Norris was there. They had some pretty decent, people, but I'm not really an autograph guy. So um, I think the big one though that's going to be there this year, I think the kind of headliner is Sean Astin, and I'd kind of like to meet him, man. I'd like to get an old VHS copy of Goonies signed.
Yeah, Goonies. That's what I was thinking. But
Of course, the picture they've got up for him is from Lord of the Rings, but it's Sam. But
well, wasn't he in Stranger Things as well? Like the
yes,
last couple? Yeah, okay. I'm
yeah, he
thinking
was
of the right
he was
guy. Yeah.
he was Bob. Bob. He was
Bad
Bob. He died.
Mr. Dispensable.
Yeah, he was such a good guy, and he
Yeah.
got he got offed.
Yeah.
Goes too far. I want to go ahead and say hi to the chat because
Please, yeah.
a very good attempt at starring the comments here. So before I lose my way, Triple C's in the house. What's up, Crimson Cobra Commander?
Ooh, I like his new logo.
Yes, that's
That's a Crimson Cobra Commander.
that's is that what is that a custom? What
It
is
look
that? I've seen that before. What is that? I
it looks
like it.
like a Mezco kind of deal. Like that looks like
Yeah, but
fabrics. Somehow.
nobody's done a hooded though. Not recently. So
Do
yeah,
share, Triple C. Where did you
yeah,
claim such a logo?
I like it. I like it a lot.
Let's do it.
Son of Crayon Slayer's in the house. What's going on?
I also like his
Uh,
logo. I like all your logos.
Logos aplenty. Ronnie Trickshot. Good morning,
Case in
gentlemen.
point.
Odd choice of a topic, I must say. Nobody on earth is talking about yo June and the Hasbro live streams. I know we had to scrounge and scrape to come up with a topic for tonight. Didn't know what we were going to do, and just luckily, Hasbro did a stream today, and it fell into my
What?
lap. So
For what?
as always on Wednesday night, we're here to talk about it like every Wednesday. So we're going to talk about it a little bit here in just a little bit. So thanks for noticing. I'm glad you noticed that. Derek Holloman is in the house. What's going on, Derek? How you doing,
Derek,
my man?
I even like your logo. Not as much as the others, but I like it.
I don't think he put as much effort into that one. Bobby Wald's in the house. What's going on? Yeah, can't wait to see the live action concert they're going to have at SDCC for Cold Slither. I am too. I hope that they televise it. I hope we get to see. They're going to make about 16 shorts out of it, but I hope like people that are there are going to get to film it and whatever, because I know at least one person that's going. So I'm hoping he will be in a position to get to watch it and send me some pictures. So I am excited for it too, Bobby. I like Cold Slither. I don't care. I like them. Sabir Del Norte's in the house. Good evening, everyone here in the chat. Darren, of course, the Crow of the North. Happy Yojo June and pre-orders galore. Not
Same to you, Sabir.
Not so much galore. Hang on, we got to play it here.
I miss it every time.
I know, but it's there. It's
I know it's there. What kills me is that guy, the guy they keep saying it about, King of the North. Man, he gets stabbed in the back by everybody. I'm like,
but he always comes back.
He always comes back. Yeah.
He always comes back. The Lord of Fire brought him back for a reason still unknown to anybody that watched that shit.
But for the record, if that's what it takes to be King of the North, I'll settle for Duke. Duke of the North is fine.
Duke of the North.
Don't stab me.
Well, it'll make you stronger. What about that?
I'm fine. I don't need more strong.
Swass weather.
Yeah. Swass. Oh yeah, Swass. Swass.
Oh yeah, yes, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Triple C says it's hot and wet in Florida.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Slip and slide, paint love.
Frank Dumont Hughes here. What's going on, my man? How you doing? Any exclusives? Do we have any exclusives?
We don't get exclusives. Maybe
that's another show.
Wait, no, we might not.
Yeah, we might. Just keep watching. Keep watching.
Stay tuned. I might interview my cat exclusively on this channel.
And bring Pretzel in here and let the neighbors get the mail and let him talk to you.
How about exclusively show off figures tonight?
Yeah, I want to see that dude. Turk Murphy's in the house. What's up, man? Let's see. Purple Elf is here. Good evening. Let's see. Takes a minute to go through all of this when you just let it go. Viper Scout's in the house. Mr. Madgus is in the house.
What's going on, Mr. Madgus? He always
Oh
says
man,
hi. Every time I walk in a chat, he's always the first one to say hi. You know.
yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
Magnus is a cool dude, man. And then let's see, we got Stanley Eberhard and
So,
another Joe live. I have a finish one. Have a feeling one might have finished.
well,
Uh,
like you were saying, we're every other Wednesday. And if it's not me and Darren, it's Darren and Pop every other Wednesday from that. So we're predictable. But Yojo is an
we are.
unpredictable month, clearly. Like Yojo June, crapshoot.
It was Todd C's also here. What's going on, Todd? How you doing, man? Hitting the like. Thank you, Todd. Yes, do that. Hit that like because I forget to say it.
Yeah.
It was weird. Pop and I talked about this on Wednesday. It's weird that they did it on Wednesday. They always do it on Tuesday or Thursday when they do these streams. I
Oh,
thought it was
Hasbro.
odd. Yeah, thought it was odd. No, ours ours is Wednesday, but Hasbro doing theirs. I thought it was strange.
I didn't even take notice, but I was taken off guard when you said, "Did you watch the live stream today?" And I went, "Oh yeah." And I was like, "For why did I think this was not today?" Um, but as far as scheduling goes, I mean, not everything is a sinister plot. Sometimes I think they just say that's the way it's got to be because so and so is available that day, or we have this going on, right? So,
Yeah, it could be. I just thought when I didn't think anything about it when they said the fourth, and then I looked. I'm like, that's a Wednesday. There's a usually, and they used to always do them on Thursdays because I had a certain place I'd watch the stream. I've got something I do for work that's every Thursday, and
uh,
I'd go to that account, and I would usually eat lunch with them, and we'd be sitting in there and be like, all right, I've got to get back in the shop and connected to y'all's Wi-Fi at 12 o'clock so
because
I can
that's
do
when
the
the stream's
pre-order.
supposed to be. So
You
really,
know,
so their change of day really it plays with you a little bit more than what it initially looked like. You had a whole routine based off this.
yeah, man, they're messing me up. They're screwing me up. But it actually worked out better today that I was able to catch it
Oh,
today.
sorry, I
This
just got
this
a
time.
text. I just got a text and it says, "Oh, why that happened?" It's apparently Emily hates you. That was
I,
why.
I hadn't said anything bad about Emily, unlike that fucking chat that was rolling today.
Oh
Everybody
my
in there,
God, they're so brutal, eh?
it was awful. It wasn't as bad as usual. I think they've really started moderating it better than what they
Yeah.
used to. Um,
Every
but
time I make the mistake of reading the chat, there's always a reason why I stop, right? Like,
I usually turn the chat off when I watch those, just
yeah.
because. But today I actually left it on. I actually commented on it today, and I was already in a bit of a mood, so I was commenting on it. And I said, "This
Mm.
janky app." So
Oh,
I did
hey,
actually watch it.
Triple C answered our question as to where he got that logo. It's worth putting up there once we get to it in the
Oh
chat.
man. Oh wait.
Yeah. It's
Um.
the fourth from the
Okay. There
bottom
it
of
is.
the chat there.
Okay, I
Yeah.
got it now. All right. No, it's that Daredevil Dave made. Nice work,
There we
Dave.
go. Right on, Dave. And thank
Photographed
you.
well.
Thanks for answering that question, Triple C. Appreciate that.
Yes. So he says, so it's not a sinister plot. You say I could find a sinister plot just about anywhere.
Oh God, yeah.
Uh, just so you know. So yeah, Dave. I asked that too. I only asked why they couldn't fix the blast effects on the MMS. I actually said that in the chat too. That was
Be-
another thing I said. I was a little snarky.
yeah, and you know why? Because they've already made them years ago, and you're going to buy it anyways. That's
That's
why.
right.
They only
That's
care
right.
so much, right? Innovation only goes so far. You have to rely on some of the old stuff that we've already swallowed. Right?
We're what two releases past using those blast effects now, and it's still like they were right the first time. They were right with scrap iron.
Yep. Hang on, let me
What
see those
happened?
sales reports on that. Yeah, you hated that, right? Oh, sure you
What
did. It's
what
everything sold.
what
Unfortunately.
happened there?
Yeah.
Um, just Jeff's in the house. What's going on? Just Jeff. And seemed like I saw another one,
Oh,
Roman Graham. What's going on, Roman? How you doing?
I've
We
got a
lost
plug that
Crow. He
ain't working.
flew the crew.
No, I
Hilarious.
got a problem with the charge cable here. I'm just playing with right now. There we
Oh
go.
no.
Yeah, it wasn't fitting in. I was looking 28% battery. Oh my God, this is not going well already.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's not good at all.
No.
All right. So yeah, that chat, Todd had said, yeah, that chat was kind of ruthless. It always is. There's so many trolls, but along with the trolls, there were people actually making like valid comments in there, like
Always is.
why didn't y'all fix those blast effects?
No, and
Um,
it's a valid question. There's always the valid questions, right? But they're not going to answer it. Emily's made the mistake of, or the whole team's made the mistake of being very forthcoming about like there is stuff we just won't talk about, and they've joked about it, right? So,
just sweep it under the rug. So, like,
so
the hell
yeah,
with that.
yeah.
Minnie Mercer. I shall call
Mini
him
Mercy.
Minnie Mercer. I'm not. I don't. I think Mercer's fine. It's not Mercer's fault.
Yeah.
No, it's genetics.
We'll
Um.
talk about it.
Yeah. Well, I have a picture. So I have a picture of Mercer. Um. You got any new stuff? Have you gotten any? Gotten
Oh,
any stuff
Nelly, did
in?
I
Or
ever? Yeah. So I'm gonna try and pump out a review tomorrow before I head off to the camping, but I got the Game Reverse Venom, and this thing is a beast. But I noticed this today. Wasn't aware of. It's got the full toe hinge, right? Even Maximum Spider-Man doesn't have that part of the toe hinge, so you can be clinging to your shelf, right? But
like grippy? You got monkey feet.
yeah, and he came out of the box, and I didn't even have to take the hair dryer to him. He wasn't stiff. He was perfect for pliability. So like everything came, even the heads came off, no problems. Removable saliva, like I could pop that out if I don't like that, and just peel that right out.
Yeah, that guy he's cool, man. I am glad I did not actually see that version in person before um, the one that I got, the 85th anniversary one,
Hmm.
because that dude was quite pricey. However, I can't really complain because the 85th anniversary one was a gift, so I can't complain.
Yeah.
But I like that one. But that saliva on that one, dude, I love the clip on saliva on that Game Reverse Venom.
So I was listening to how Punk was talking the other day about how you didn't want to like the Hulk, but you ended up loving the Hulk,
Yes,
right? And I think what the Hulk brought to the table is what I'm seeing with a lot of this Venom. You're looking at a massive figure with all the right articulation and bends and everything, and it's the same price as a Maximum Hulk, is what I'm getting at, right? So
yeah, and that's basically like I was kidding, but that's basically like a maximum figure, right?
it is, yeah. That's it doesn't come with as many accessories, but this is probably the coolest one because it actually you just pop the like I'll pop his fist off here. I'll put this on. It has a little pin inside, just like the hands do, and that
Yeah,
just clips into the socket. And then I can wrap these. The hooks are solid enough that there's one that goes around his waist well, there's one that goes around his head well, and you can kind of see where we're going with that, right? Like that's a pretty
yeah,
useful. But that's it. An extra set of hands and another head. The saliva and that really is what you're getting. So I
yeah.
don't know if
It's
that's
pretty cool.
more of a piece count than the Maximum Hulk, but I mean, it's the same price point, and I think it's equally impressive for what you're getting with it.
I'm impressed with the figure. It's a good looking figure.
Yeah, it is.
I like it. So I've here's the 85th one. He's been out for a
Yeah,
minute.
and like I would still buy that one because I do like that head too. And it's not like Venom has always been portrayed as a juggernaut. He's often been, normal
Yeah,
human size, right? So I like that figure. I would seek that out. That this one I just showed up on the right day and it was there instead of a Maximum Hulk. So I said, okay, I'll take that. Right.
yeah.
But,
So I
yeah.
have no desire to get Maximum Hulk. I mean, he looks cool. I'm just not that much of a Hulk fan, honestly. Um, so
Uh-huh.
what's up to Same Time Toys is in the house. What's going on,
Hey
Shane?
Shane.
And Joe Fan 84 is in the house. What's up, Joe Fan? Finally home from work. I
Long
got in
day.
early today. I could have made the day longer, but I just didn't want to. Just didn't want to.
Well, you've been
Um,
sick too, right?
yes, it's these last yesterday and Monday were freaking brutal, dude. Um,
Mhm.
Frank says Venom is actually a bigger figure than the Hulks.
Yeah, this is actually taller than the Nemesis Build-A-Fig. Like it's a tall fig.
Yeah, he's chunky, man. He's a big figure. I didn't realize when I first looked at it, I didn't realize just how big that figure was. And
Nor
I
did I.
started looking at it online because I was looking at Venoms. I'm like, I don't really need a I don't really need a 10-inch $60 Venom. Like
Yeah.
give me
Well,
regular Venom. That's all I need on my shelf.
I wanted the big one. Just once I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's damn cool. But yeah, you're right. It wasn't like I was seeking it out. I stumbled upon it, and I kind of knew I would like it if I saw it. But I went out there looking for the Hulk today. Right.
Had they gotten it in at all yet?
Not at the GameStop I went to, so I'm gonna go to Toys on Fire, which is our local one, because I want to go out to the woods with the Wolverine and the Hulk and take photos in the woods. Right.
You need to take a Deadpool out there
Yep. Yeah. Well, that's a good point. I do have that
and
too.
do a
Yeah.
get you a picture of Wolverine and Daredevil out in the woods fighting or something.
Well, I mean, I will, but I'd sure still like to find that Maximum Hulk.
I want to see it. Like I say I don't really need it, but I want to see it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm not like I like the Spider-Man Venoms, the Spider stuff. I like that stuff that from in the day. Like all of this, anything that's been invented in the
Mhm.
last like 20 years, I don't give a shit about. But if it's villains from like when I was a kid, something like that, I just never was that big of a Hulk fan where I was
So,
as Spider-Man and say Iron Man, Cap, Thor separately. Like I never read Avengers.
so it goes to me to serve as like what the danger of collecting Marvel Legends are. If you don't want to religiously collect and you don't want to be a completionist, one of the pitfalls, hey, we can call it one of the strategies they use, is the
Yeah. Oh
connectivity.
yeah.
Have you ever played a game called 6 Degrees of Bacon or Six
No,
Degrees
I
of
have
Kevin
not.
Bacon? No, it was an old game
Oh,
we
oh
played.
yeah, six, yeah, six,
Yeah, Six Degrees
six,
of Kevin
yeah,
Bacon, right? So for those of you in the chat that maybe don't know it or you're aged out on that, it was you had to name an actor and within 6 movies connect them to something they did with Kevin Bacon. Right.
yeah,
And that is playing Marvel Legends right away, right? Like, oh, okay, I don't want to collect Hulk. I'm really an X-Men fan. So I buy all the X-Men. Eventually I get to Wolverine. All right. Oh, well, now why do I want Hulk? Because I like this Wolverine from when he first showed up, and I can connect the Hulk to him and Rogue with that McFarlane cover because he fought them both.
yep.
Like 6 Degrees of Bacon nonstop with Marvel Legends.
That's a very good way to put it with Marvel Legends because I was like, I really want to get a Punisher figure, and they're like, well, I like Kingpin, and that Kingpin's coming. Well, I got Kingpin. Spider-Man fought Kingpin. I need a Spider-Man. Well,
You
man,
see
I've
the
always liked the
calculations?
yeah, I've already always liked the Green Goblin, and it's just like, oh my
Yeah.
god. So that
Yeah.
just goes on and on. Yeah, so I know what you mean. We used to do six degrees of whatever. We used to play that. So
Yeah.
uh I like Roman's comment here. I want a maximum blade. I do
Wouldn't
too.
this be the time, right? While the buzz on blade is still present, before it dies off, get it in there. Because once they resolve the blade casting issues, and if they're even going to do it, you might lose that window on blade again, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't come around
Yes.
often.
No, and that's good that he is brought back into the forefront a little bit because he's one of
Mhm.
those guys that, unless you were just a uber diehard Blade fan, you're like, even if you like him but you don't love him, yeah, you kind of forget about him until something makes you think of him. To me, he's a lot like Moon Knight. And I'm more of a Blade fan than a Moon Knight fan. I really like both of them, but it's kind of like Moon Knight is for me. Like I
Mhm.
really like him, but I didn't read a lot of it and collect a lot of it. So I'll see him
Um,
and you're like, oh yeah, Moon Knight's badass. I need a Moon Knight.
yeah, I always saw Blade, and I mean, like, this isn't, I don't like to bring up race anything, but the 70s black exploitation characters of the movies like Blackula and all those
Hmm.
era. And that's where Blade to me
Shaft.
stemmed from. And they did a yeah, Shaft. We're talking about Shaft here. Um, but they've salvaged that maybe time would have forgotten that image. And Blade has been able to retain that same image long past its style being out, if that's making sense. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Blade never changed, but
No.
that whole image did.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was kind of like going back and like with Luke Cage, like
Yeah.
they didn't really update Luke Cage all that much, but if they had of it would have been wrong, you
Yeah.
know?
And yeah. So where do you go from image to stereotypes, right? Like, oh my
Yes.
God, that's such a fine line for an artist to walk. Imagine a toy.
Speaking of that, when do we get an Apache Chief figure?
Quarter past never. Cobra Hooded
No,
Commander
Chuck!
O'Clock. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Tough truth.
he's gonna be in a 2-pack with Hooded Cobra Commander.
Yeah. So maybe a HasLab 6 foot tall Apache Chief would work, but
Oh,
McFarlane's not going to work with that.
it's like the
See,
size of the wooden Indian in Creepshow 2.
just as many points of articulation too, I'm sure.
Oh, it's awesome. So you got anything else other than
Nothing that
just
I haven't
Venom there?
really shown. I didn't get too far into the X-Men 97. I didn't do a review on it, but it is a good fig. I like it. He's a nice short Wolverine, but no, not so much. What about yourself? Like we both got Retro Viper, right? Now we
Yeah,
can talk
that's
about
the
him.
yeah, that's the only other one that I've gotten like recently. And I ordered him. I got him Sunday because you guys heard me say 100 times. Well, I didn't order any of those guys. You kind of pushed me over the edge to go ahead and order this dude.
Mm,
So he is a good figure. If you're gonna have classic color Viper on your shelf, this is the one to have. Although we got raw dogged with that right there though.
Oh my God, did we ever, right? Like, hey guys, it's
And
pretty close, right? Come,
yeah,
you can
close
accept it
enough.
because
Close
we
enough.
really,
We can call it retro, can't we? Come on.
you don't really want us to mold a new
Bullshit.
weapon just for this, do you?
Yep, I sure do. I want you to do one less figure in the retro waves and make the damn weapons.
Yeah.
Um,
So I couldn't help but notice when we were both holding these up at the very beginning, it felt like Christmas morning and we
yeah.
just opened Grandma's gift and it's like that
Look,
big, yeah. But at the
look.
same time, it's just the Viper. It's not the Hasbro we wanted. So there's that like almost I'm at kind of a plus like, thanks, Grandma,
Yeah.
yay.
Yay. I
What else
wanted
is there?
Cobra Island Viper, but Viper's a Viper.
Why didn't you get rock and roll?
I do like this guy though, man. He's
Yeah.
smooth, he's buttery smooth out of the package, which for some reason the retros always are.
Hmm.
So this is a good figure. I do want to get one more. I'm not in any hurry to do it.
Yeah.
But I do want another one. Oh, it's funny. I got him. I said I got him on Amazon. He was $24.99. Today he's $31.99, both from Amazon.
Yeah.
Uh,
Today I
uh,
saw price jacks as well today.
this
Yes.
this dynamic surge pricing can kiss my ass, and if everybody starts doing it, I will not be buying much of anything if that's the model. But that's a topic for another time.
Well,
Uh,
all I know
Dave,
is the standard action fig in Canada right now is between 36 and 42.99, and it was prior to that 29.99 and sorry 32.99 and lower. So as of now, those prices have kicked in.
um, Dave said he got retro Mindbender today. Now him, I didn't order. I just want the cape. I want the good cape to put
Yeah.
on the other one. So, um, yeah, it should be retro whatever carded.
Yeah, and that reminded me, this was the point I wanted to make. As much as I love this buck, I still kind of feeling like the retro line is just another classified line. If you're going to keep just throwing modern weapons in and just make the retro image, that's half the job. Like the weapon for the Viper is a point that a lot of people keep making. because that's what they were expecting out of a retro line. That's in the
Yeah.
word retro, right?
Yeah.
So I like this figure. I'm glad I got two of them. I would buy more if I came across them in the right circumstances. And I would say anybody who likes Vipers, go get it. But
Yeah.
I wish we would call it something other than retro at this point.
Well, I mean, they're technically they're just it's retro card, and the cards are a retro card throwback. But I mean, I
Yes,
see
but
what you did there.
they do keep going back to saying that classified is where they wanted to do the modernization, and that wasn't for the retro line. That was for
That's
classified.
correct.
But they're doing it to both lines, like the belt, the pistol, the weapons. They've modernized this.
And that's why I am not all in on the retro cards. I'm not even all in on regular classified, and we'll talk about that in a little
Yeah,
bit.
and
But
I'm not even mad at it. I just think, use the terms accurately because that will help manage people's expectations, which would help manage negative feedback from disappointed people who thought they were going to get something else.
yeah, absolutely. Roman, said anybody get retro rock and roll?
I have them
Matthew
pre-ordered.
Matton's
That's it.
here. He is. What's up, Matthew? Retro rock and roll is also $31.99 on Amazon for some reason.
Mm,
I think he's in
Matt pointing
stock
out
at Pulse. I haven't
was
looked.
there a price there? 140 CA, was that Canadian that he means? It's supposed to be 104 Canadians for the MMS. Yeah,
I don't know anything about that. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Tell us what that.
That's probably something that was in the chat that he was just responding to, and we're just seeing it the
Yeah,
wrong way. Yeah.
probably. Yeah, the issue with the eel, yeah, they didn't make enough eels, and then that was when they saw the potential in the retro line, and they're like, you know what? We're not going to
Mhm.
make any more of these. We're going to put this in the retro line.
Yeah. So I mean, like,
That's
if
why I
you
still
could,
don't have him.
if I could go back and be the guy in charge, it's like let's just ditch this and call it the Sunbow or variant line. Like, because a lot of these things that they do when they do it is like, look at the Snow Viper. We do Sunbow colors, Cobra Infantry, Sunbow colors, Viper, Sunbow colors. So okay, or Deke or whatever, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, if you want to reprint figures that you introduce and classified and retain them, then this isn't the place people expect them.
Yeah, I just don't. I'm just not sold on the retro line. I'm just not. And rock and roll, like I didn't get rock and roll. I like the first rock and roll. I'm not somebody that is actively trying to complete the OG 13. I know a lot of
Obviously.
people are. I'm not, and I really like the first rock and roll. So I may pick this one up. It's a fine looking figure. I hate his eyebrows. And yes, I know the original had dark eyebrows. It looks like ass and it looks like he has a unibrow. I know the original had the dark eyebrows, but
So
I
I
digress.
I agree with you. Like from what I saw the photos, that doesn't look great. But at the same time, I've also, and you've learned this as well, like sometimes the photography doesn't get the right angle, get the right lighting, and it comes off way harsher than what it did in your hand, right? Like it's, in your hand,
Yeah.
you can tolerate it a little bit easier.
But when you watch
Yeah.
3 or 4 reviews and they all look like that, people
Yeah.
with
Okay.
different lighting. So,
That's fair.
you
I did not watch those yet.
yeah, I watched a few. So, I mean, he looks fine. I might get him eventually, but I don't see me opening him. He would be for the carded wall collection.
I'm
Um,
spreading figures all over this house, so if I got him, he's just in a different room than the other. That works too.
I'll have to be doing that before long, at least spilling into the other bedroom. So,
Yeah.
and Sabir says same thing with the serpent too. Yeah, established pattern. Yeah, I agree. That one, man, I'm still they screwed that guy up twice, not giving him an AK-47 on the eel or the snow serpent. They screwed that figure up twice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the other part about the Viper that I hate, right? Traditionally, Cobra has been using Warsaw stocked weapons, things that require banana mags. Now,
mhm.
we just no, they've got a brand new ammo supplier. Does that sound like Destro and Enterprises have switched ammo
Yeah,
suppliers? I don't think they would.
yeah.
Yeah. No.
That does not look like a Soviet bloc weapon to me.
Yeah, and it's such a nitpicky little criticism, but come on, like I'm not even joking. This is as close as they were going to get to that other rifle, and it's just it burns me.
Yeah,
It burns
I
me.
got I got one. Where the hell did I put that? There it is. So there it is.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me look for something here. Got a couple others that might go for that guy. See how big that is, YouTube, versus my hand. You see that's a little bitty 1/12 scale
Nope,
weapon.
where oh my god, they just kicked us off.
They might, man. They did it to Shane. So,
Yeah.
all right. So let's see. Let's I get through this up here. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Ready to be rattled. It's just the same thing most of us saw last week. Rattlers are coming 5 or 6 months early, according to this email. So, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I know it's a sore spot for you, Crow. So,
It's not a sore spot. It's just it was a missed opportunity for me to do a complicated mess. That's all it is. But I'm
yeah.
happy for everybody getting their rattlers. I'm excited to see reviews and I'm excited to see picks. It is what it is.
So this is now I did this math on the stream with Pop Blender last week. It was exactly 7 weeks from me getting this first email to when I got my Dragonfly. It was 49 days from the first of these emails to it being delivered. So that is on target with the end of June, middle of July, being delivered. So we'll see what they do. Can't wait for the Rattler. Yeah, I mean, I love the Rattler. It's one of my favorite Cobra vehicles. So we'll see how it comes out. I don't think it coming early's got anything to do with any kind of tariffs or anything like that. I think they were just way ahead of schedule. They knew it was going to fund. So think soon as it hit 8,000 or 10,000 or whatever, I think they hit the green light in one of the factories. I think was dedicated to running this off. So we'll see. So Stanley says, was this a 9-month turnaround? It ended in
September, yeah. So
no, SDCC and then a month. So yeah, late August, I guess. Something like that. Yeah. So and then so August that's 4 months, and then 10 months roughly if it shows up this month. So that's a whole lot better than the 18 that they say, estimate. All right, let's go ahead. Do you want to talk about a couple of other things that are coming up before we talk about the Yojo June stuff today? So,
sure. You know what you got loaded in that computer? You had an idea?
I don't want to spend a ton of time on it because we got a lot of Joe stuff to go over and give our thoughts and opinions on. So we kind of got a timetable we need to hit tonight. So I was just going to show these. Ace put this up the other day. This is the Ramen Hunter.
That makes me excited.
This is a whole bunch of tank fuselages. These are the boxes. I love the box.
I love those. Man. Yeah.
Each
type's got its own crate. I like that too.
I'm not thrilled about co-opting the Punisher logo on it. I don't like that.
Well, the military did that a lot. You know what I mean? Like they painted it on a lot of Humvees. Shielding there, but I get the point. It's not very original.
I don't think they didn't do it till it had already been kind of co-opted, right? Or were they doing this in 1990?
Oh, I don't know. Not in 90s. I joined in the mid 90s. So
I think it's like fairly, probably within the last 15 or 20 years they've been using this, right?
I would say
On
since
stuff.
Iraq for sure.
Yeah, that's mid two
Yeah.
thousands, late 2000s.
Yeah.
So, all right, enough. I just wanted to bring that up. So here's the side.
No,
So
those
I
are
dig
cool.
the boxes, man, and it's getting the armored vehicles. So whoever designs his boxes does a good job with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. There's the one I'm getting. You're
Well,
getting the
same.
Are you
No, I
getting
got
this
this
one or
one.
were you get I thought you were getting the toss and cross.
Well, I mean, you're all getting we're all getting this one, but
Yeah, okay. No, I lost track of who's getting what. Anyways,
yeah,
this is the
yeah,
tank.
the
Yeah.
tank. Yeah, this is the tank, and then there's the M. Say that for me.
Amphibinia? I have no idea how to pronounce it. And amphibs, amphis,
And,
amphisbaena, am
and that one, the black and red
yeah,
one is the Night Force one. So there's the box for that one. Uh,
amphisbaena. The
and then I know
phalanx,
you can
yeah,
say this one,
phalanx.
Phallus.
Yeah, I
The
wanted to get
Phallus.
this one, but then I might still order this piece just to add to it later.
So yeah, this turn it into the Wolverine. So just
Hmm.
in case anybody missed those, I'm sure everybody's probably seen those. But since that is something we have in common here, um, I thought that I'd bust those out. Here's another one, something else that's come out. Sorry, I'm not trying to ignore the chat, just trying to do half a dozen things at once here. So this is the Air Tiger, the fans hobby.
Saw that, yeah. That's cool.
Um, this is the obviously the Tiger Force version of the Air Eagle. They're gonna have these supposedly at Joe Fest.
Mhm.
Gonna have a limited number of them at Joe Fest. Uh,
Yeah.
thing
So
looks cool.
these have the LEDs and all that other stuff. Like these are actually
Mm-hmm.
really neat on the inside as well. So I'm pretty interested. I think the price they were saying was 125 US.
I think that's right. Something
Yeah.
around 120. Yeah. Which
Yeah.
does anybody in the chat have one of these? I know some people.
I thought
Um,
Triple C had a print of one of these. I just wasn't sure if it was from this printer.
I don't think it's the fans hobby one, and I know Punk has one that's a 3D printed one, but
Yeah.
um, I don't think he's got this one. I'm not sure. Correct us.
No.
Um, but everybody says this thing is badass, and it's injected. It's not printed.
Yeah,
This
I would
one
buy
is it's
this if I,
injected.
yeah, I would definitely pick this up. If you're going to Joe Fest, and you better be quick about it if you plan on getting it, because I think the longer this resonates in people's minds, the more people make room in the wallet for this.
Yeah, it looks really good. It just I am I'm going to be on a pretty tight budget at Joe Fest this year.
Mhm. Yep.
And it's I had plenty of money. It's something I definitely want to pick up, but
Mhm.
everybody that can get it, I mean, everybody says it's awesome.
I'm doing the
Quality's
calc.
there.
I've already told Dr. Darren if I see the opportunity, I'm just going to send you the money and tell you to go get it. But we have other
Yeah,
vehicles coming out in droves right now. Sabir, yeah, is mentioning the one that I am really considering buying. I don't think we have
yeah,
photos of that, do we?
yeah. That was the um oh the that's the
The
shit
gridiron
the
phalanx
gridiron.
is the one.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't. I can
No,
pull
it's
it
okay.
up. Uh,
No, that's
if
that
you want
one's
to.
like, what is it? 400 US.
Yeah, dude, it's like it looks nice, but not for it ain't for me.
No, but
It ain't
I've
for me.
I explained to Darren it might very much be for me if they come up with the right turret for me, because it's based on a lav chassis, which is very like what we used overseas. And I'm like, God damn it! I ordered a tank because I connected with this, and then I see this, and I'm connecting to it already, and
Right.
it's the most expensive thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Right? So
Um
may or may not do this. Might go with the other one.
and you said that's similar to what you operated when you were in the
The
military.
lav, yeah. If you look up Blown Line and go Lab 3 or even the current Lab 6, you'll see what the gridiron phalanx is basically. and you'll see what the driver. I saw the pictures of the Phalanx driver's hole, the driver's compartment for that thing. Like they took a photo of the inside, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's amazing!" Yeah, this thing here, right? So it's very much exactly. It's a toy version of what's already out there right now doing the gigs. But you
Yeah,
can see it's just like with Ramen, he left a turret ring open there for what should be as a like a 25 millimeter Bushmaster cannon going in there with a big old turret and two seats, right? So,
which I'm sure you'll probably be able to buy for the low price of $483 or some shit. But
and that's what I was saying to Punk the other day because we were talking about this. I was like, yes, it all looks manageable in bits and chunks, but then I want my turret for this. And when that turret comes out, you know that's going to start at $200 US. And I was laughing. I said, by the time I'm done doing the calculations with shipping and handling a lav and a turret in Canadian, you're looking at almost $1,200.
it's absolutely ridiculous, man.
Right?
Uh,
I
uh,
say that out loud and it makes me not want to buy it. And I think that's the responsible thing is to keep saying it out loud because
that's
yeah.
that's dragon money.
It's like Mythic Legion Dragons, no one can afford that. Let me get my phalanx.
Yeah, dragon money. Sabir wants to know if anybody backed Patriot Force. I did not.
Haven't.
They're
No.
they look okay. I mean, they don't look bad or anything. It's just not. I didn't. Don't mean that I won't pick one up because I like they're doing the insurgents, right? In that
Yeah,
line,
and
I like the insurgents.
I was going to look into it when I get back from the cottage after I see how much that cost me because if it's a reasonable buy-in, I might look into it, but I just don't know how that translates for Canadians, like with
Yeah,
our conversion until I see it, right? So
absolutely, positively correct. This is a question. Stanley has a question you might be able to answer. Still not sure
yeah.
how to pack for Joe Fest. Pack light. Anticipate to return with a suitcase full of toys.
Yeah, so Stanley, bring comfortable clothes, comfortable shoes, clearly.
Clearly,
And
shoes.
as a guy who traveled, for hours through several airports internationally, um, maybe you don't want to be an inbox collector when you're leaving Joe Fest because breaking down the cardboard into nice folded flats is going to get you a lot more in your suitcase than if you try to keep shit in the box. That's my biggest advice.
Yeah, it's if you're there wanting to come back with mint in package stuff, it's gonna be tough. I
Yeah.
mean, unless you're not worried about the package. So um we can be, Dave. We can be. Been called worse.
Mhm.
Let's see. More Monster Force figures. Well, who knows? Maybe they'll show up. Maybe
Yeah.
they won't.
Did you see the new eraser?
Yeah, I actually have him here, and I was getting ready to pull him up, and then we started talking
Yeah.
about the phallus.
Oh,
So
that's the phalanx, not phallus.
um, actually, I've got a couple of Joe Fest exclusive things we'll go through and look
Right.
at.
Yes, a few coming out. Yeah.
First off, I want to start with these guys. Watch them reveal these the other night. Delta 17. This is Steve and Ken. This is their Joe Fest 2 pack
Which
for
one, Steve?
the yeah. That's good. I was like, wait, what? Okay. Uh,
Well, you said it.
Steve's the white guy.
Ah,
White
clearly.
Steve. White
You
Steve.
racist son of a
That's right.
bitch.
Clearly. um, so this is their 2 pack that they're gonna have. I'm
Mhm.
probably gonna try and get these guys. I think they look great. I don't have I've got some Delta 17s, but I want to try and support those guys. And I like my
Yeah.
desert stuff anyway. So there's the back of the packaging for them. So
I
I
eventually
think they said this is going to be, I want to say they said 40 or 45, I want to say.
so I know
Um,
40 was for the drone dude, right? I think
um,
this is probably in the same market, but I think this is available at the end of Joe Fest, they were saying.
Okay. I just know it's gonna be there.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
and then
Or
we got
after
these,
Joe Fest, maybe.
and then we got the Hailstorm.
That's the
They're
one I
right,
think was 40.
40 or 45. They're
Mm.
right there together. I was thinking
Mm.
the Hailstorm was 45 at the show because it's normally 50. That's why I'm not sure about the 2-pack. But
Mhm.
they did say there, if you buy any 3 items, you're going to get 10% off. So, uh, if you're going to be there and stock up on your Delta 17 stuff, help
Mhm.
out some, you know,
I do have to get more from those. I've got my core characters, and then I took a break, but I gotta call break time over soon.
yeah, gotta
Yeah.
be. Let's see. Yep, more comics. That he was talking about the second issue of the comic. They've been having a little bit of trouble
Yeah,
getting it
yeah.
done.
I asked them the same question, and yeah, there's plans for the comics, but the comics are, they will come, but they're surprisingly we didn't miss any since last Joe Fest. That's what I was
Yeah,
concerned about.
I
So
was really hoping they would have issue 2 ready to go, but don't
no,
not gonna happen.
yeah.
So talk to Tony's Figs and hook you up. But
So never
it
say
won't.
never, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
they're
that
looking into it, but
yeah, it's growth, right? So they've had a strong representation for the last couple of years for a new line. That's going to go a long way if they wanted to get into the 6-inch market. Like this is going to work for them. The time they're spending at 3 3/4 and what they're succeeding with, I would give them time before that, but I would expect that maybe they'd look into it.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'd like to see them do it, but I mean that's they want to be more of a modern classic Joe type property with
yeah.
that scale because that's what they grew up with. So
I,
that's their thing. I'm fine with that.
And like I said, we appreciate the toys, we collect the toys, and we have our vision of what the toys should be, right? But this is Steve's baby, right? Like
Oh
the
yeah,
genesis in his mind, right? This
yeah,
is how he wants to present it. The best I can
yeah.
do is applaud, right?
Oh
Just
yeah.
say,
I
yeah, it's
mean,
good. Shit's good, son.
look,
Like Ken and
I
Steve
love
killed
it.
it. Yeah.
I do want to get this guy. I don't know. I can't pick up both of them, but I'm really thinking the red and blue one. I
It's
like them both.
really, I'll be the guy that's bluntly honest. These don't do much for me. I like the
Okay.
other things that they bring to the table, and I look forward to future vehicles from them. But the tech drone thing is just, there, it doesn't have the
Too
appeal, but I
too
can,
futuristic.
just a little bit too rock'em sock'em robots for me,
Yeah,
a
I
little
can see
bit.
that. Probably
But
wouldn't
I
have
can
if you
see
hadn't have said it, but I see
I
it
think
now.
they I think they look really nice. Like they kind of definitely what was that Hugh Jackman movie, Real Steel? When I see the blue one, I'm like, yeah, he's ready to go. Right. But
The movie
yeah,
was so bad.
yeah, I liked Real Steel for what it was. I thought it was fun.
I
Yeah.
did not. So,
No.
Stanley's waiting on Gun Bunny to ship his cold slither ramen van. I can't wait to see that. And don't rush it. Don't rush it.
Mhm.
Um, he'll have it done. Roman says, anybody know why Valaverse stopped going to Joe Fest? They were there in 2023. Um, there are other people that can speak to that way more than I can, but they
Yeah.
don't get along with. There was a blow up. They don't get along with the guy that puts it on, and a lot of the people that go to Joe Fest, they don't get along with. So that's that's really all I know that I can say is those circles don't really intersect very well, so they go to DFW.
I mean, it's only because we're so sensitive about that whole subject of Vala and Joe, right? But I mean, like, let's look at the hard facts. It's called Joe Fest for one. Why, if I owned a company that wasn't GI Joe, would I want it to be there? Besides, like, yes, to sell the figs, but I'm not GI Joe related. But as a guy that used to work for Hasbro, that is just nothing but trigger warnings in that room. Why would you go?
Yeah. Well, that's a whole. We could
Yeah.
probably do a whole show on that if we wanted to, but
Hmm.
probably worked itself into that position. But
Yeah. He goes to enough
whatever.
other events. I don't think he feels it. So.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but to answer your question, they don't mesh well anymore. So he goes to DFW. I thought they were going to be there last year. I was looking forward to seeing their stuff last year there, and you know that happened. So what started this whole folder full of going through slides is there's the
There we
Lieutenant
go.
Griffin. So this appears to
I
be
like that.
the exact same one as the uh
The purple.
shit Toylanta. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in like smoke gray.
Okay. So I probably will wire you some money for this.
Okay.
Just if it weren't for the fact that it was gray, I wouldn't have cared. I don't care for the translucent figures, but gray works for so much because
Yeah.
it does look so stealthy, so background friendly, right? Like not purple, not red.
I like the purple, but I like this one. I like this one too. I will
Yeah.
get this one, if I can,
If you can.
because I'm trying to get all of their translucent ones. I mean, at this point, I've got more of the translucent ones than I do of the regular figures. So,
Yeah. Again,
this
it's
will be,
because it's the Invisible Man, right? So like
yeah,
when they did translucent, because you and I we were at Joke Fest when we did the Monster Force
yeah,
ones, and really I just was like, I don't care here. I'll use my opportunity and we'll double down, right? I didn't care because I was like, okay, it's some forgotten king and his Dracula. They're translucent, but this is the Invisible Man. If I'm ever going to stare through an action figure, this is the one I want it to be, right? So,
yeah.
and
Oh, yeah,
gray is a
yeah,
beautiful choice.
yeah. Makes sense for the Invisible Man to have a translucent
Mhm.
figure. So,
Damn right.
uh, and then Triple D. Have you guys off topic? Have you seen the buzz on the new King of the Hill series? I mean, I've seen. I mean, I know it's a thing, and I know the actor that played John Redcorn in the original was just shot.
Murdered. Yeah,
Yeah,
murdered.
but no, I mean, if there's new buzz other than it's coming out and that happened, I don't know, and
Yeah.
just aware it's coming. Uh, Johnny Reno's in the house. What's going on, Johnny Reno? Yes, I'm glad. I- and he says it right here. I was actually going to pull this up. I
Oh,
was
is today
actually,
Killdozer Day?
yes, it is.
That's where the buddy hopped in the armored plated bulldozer and taught everybody a lesson.
Yep, it sure is.
Right on.
I just minimized everything because I had to find where I put the slide. So give
Mm.
me just a second and I will pull that up. It is June 4th, and nope, I don't want to open my printer software. Oh, too many tabs.
That's right. I'm going to step outside, so you guys are going to see me in 2 minutes.
All right. So yes, indeed. Happy Killdozer Day, June
Mm.
4th. The day that they pushed one man too far in Granby, Colorado, and Marvin Hamir did $7 million worth of damage to the town, taking out City Hall and businesses of the people that screwed him over in town. If you've never seen Tread, I recommend watching it. However, it does make you see Mr. Marvin in a slightly different light, maybe not quite as righteous, but I still admire this dude for just saying fuck it. And this is the epitome of don't tread on me.
Yeah,
Um,
I I don't know. I'm not one for lawlessness and anarchy, like to the degree where people get hurt. But my God, did they ever underestimate what this man would do?
he didn't hurt a soul. He didn't hurt
No, I know.
anybody.
It's what I just mean, like with the threat that it represented, right? Like,
Oh yes. Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I like about it. This is he did what all of the movies are like. What happens when you push one man just a little
Mhm.
too far? This. He buys a giant ass Komatsu bulldozer and wrecks the town. And I remember telling my dad about this when it happened because I had just spent the last 3 years working for him driving a bulldozer. So,
He's living
um,
the dream, Paul.
yeah, of course, my dad was like, "Yeah, no, that's not. You can't just be doing that."
Yeah.
But
I
after my
yeah.
dad's stint in local town politics, he might have a different opinion these days.
I don't know. These ones break my heart though. Like when the guys get like this, because you always know it's always going to end with something where the police just had to take the guy down, right? Like, got
Yeah.
no choice, got to take him out, right? I remember one where they had somebody had stolen a tank from one of your bases and went down the
Oh,
highway with it,
yes, yes,
right? Well, he high
yes.
centers the tank and takes the left track right off the pit tarmac, and he's stuck on that median. And you could hear the radio chatter, and they're worried he can operate the main armament and all these weapons,
Yes.
right? And I'm like, okay, you've watched Rambo too many times. You can't do that from a driver's compartment. Right now, this guy's absolutely screwed. Oh, good, you're gonna shoot him now. This is brilliant. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember that. That was I'm trying to remember where that happened. Johnny may know.
yeah.
Um
I can't remember what state that was.
yeah, I can't either. Now I tell you what, while we're talking about shit ramen should make. I would
This
buy
sounds like a
that.
bit of ramen and Patriot Force, really, because Patriot
Yeah,
Force takes real people and goes, "You're a hero," right?
man. I would definitely buy a ramen killdozer with magnetic swappable armor and gun ports and shit that work. So yeah, I'd be in for that. Say what's up to Jay Astro. What's going on, buddy?
It would
Uh
go well with the new legacy line Hasbros that we're going to talk about later. Just to get a bunch of confused
oh
ones of
yeah.
those.
Yes, yeah, you could definitely put those in a scene together.
Hell yeah.
Purple Elf with dude was dedicated. In fact, he was so normal, no one knew what he was doing, and like he didn't even really hide it. It was in his shop behind a tarp that was strung up. Like, yeah, he was trying to sell the building, and he had people come in and look at the building while it was in there.
Yeah.
War chest full of toys is here, and my people sing the songs of the Killdozer. I love it. Love it. Love it.
His
Love it. Love
legend
it.
continues.
Oh, let's see. Really, going through the Killdozer comments
Yeah.
here. The only thing that really stopped him was, well, he cut a hydraulic line when the track. He didn't know that building had a basement, and the track slipped off in the basement, and a hydraulic line was severed.
Yeah.
Um,
You could try and skip that track back on maybe, but yeah, once you throw track, you're kind of in a fuck situation to begin with,
I
anyways.
I don't think it didn't throw it. It was just hung. It got hung, and he
Oh,
couldn't
because he
go
was over the
anywhere with it.
basement part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it was like that. And
Mm.
I've been in a situation like that with a track hoe, and it's a little easier with the track hoe because you can use the boom to work yourself out of it.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen
Not a
those
basement; it
videos.
was a mud hole. Um, yeah, movie Tank with James Garner. That was ironically one of my dad's favorite movies ever.
I
So
remember that movie vaguely.
yeah, that was a pretty good movie, man. He stole a Sherman tank to go save his son from like a
Yeah.
corrupt sheriff, I think.
I don't think I've
Uh,
thought about James Gardner in 30 years either, though. That's probably why I didn't remember that movie.
I can watch Maverick anytime. I can
Maverick,
watch
yes.
the show or the movie.
Not the Mel Gibson one.
No, yeah, that one too. But yeah, it was a show. It was James Garner was in
Oh,
the
I
show.
remember it was a show. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they did the movie with Mel Gibson. All
Oh,
right,
man. I
so
want people getting sick.
now nobody's talking about any GI Joe stuff today, so we're gonna break some GI Joe ground here.
This just
Um,
in, you heard it here first.
yeah, you heard it here like 16th. So, all right, do we want to? Let's see. Do we want to talk about the end of the stream or the beginning of the stream first?
Mm, I'll tell you what. Open mouth is the end of the stream. Closed mouth is beginning of the stream. Pick my hand.
Your left hand.
My left hand. We're going to talk about the end of the stream first.
All right, we're gonna do that first. So, hey, did you guys hear about the HasLab? Did you hear about this? You know about this? All right. I'm gonna share a screen here, and
I'm happy.
gonna pull this up. Actually, let me. I wanna make sure I got everything squared away for sharing this screen here. Yep. Okay. Share audio as well. So, all right. So, little preface here to what I'm about to show. Hasbro, this is your content, but I'm getting ready to show the last 16 seconds of today's live stream for fair use because we're going to critique it and talk about it, and I'm going to teach my chat about things not to do and to do with the HasLab. So, let me mute my mic here.
If this is okay with you, Hasbro, do absolutely nothing right now. Perfect.
Great news. I am happy to announce that we are officially launching our next G.I. Joe Classified Series HasLab at the end of Yojo June. But it's cool. I don't begrudge them hanging out until the end of the stream to drop some information. But the next HasLab, it's pretty chill. We're really excited about it. So stay tuned for more information. So again, the campaign will be launching before the end of Yojo June. So more information to come for the rest of the month, and stay tuned. Keep it frosty. Have a great time, and we'll see you soon.
There you go.
All right. So, whole lot of stuff crammed into that couple seconds there. So, I got it wrote down. So, let's see. We got pretty chill, cool, keep it frosty, and we had snowflakes flying across the screen there. So to me, that is everything that is indicative of being a snowcat.
100%. I don't even think this is a debatable point. I know people could say, well, there's other Arctic vehicles out there, but you got to remember last poll they did for HasLabs, they mentioned the Thunder Machine, the Mauler, the Snowcat, and the third one was the Rattler, or the fourth one was the Rattler, wasn't it? Right?
Yes.
Yeah. And they went with the Rattler. So they had plans sitting around for Snowcat for a few years. Like this has been talked about before. It was almost a discussion about it going retail at one point. But with 4-figure unlocks, yeah, it's a big enough vehicle. This is great. I'm so happy.
Let's see. Let me find. There's a comment I didn't highlight it. Yeah, I renamed my channel Super Cracker. I think that would draw people subscribing that would be utterly disappointed in things that I talk about if I did that.
Yeah, we need moderators.
Yeah, we would need no moderators. And Johnny Reno says that he thought that Chode fuckstick said there would be no HasLab. He didn't say there would be no HasLab. He said there were rumors swirling it was possible there wouldn't be a HasLab. He didn't say there wasn't gonna be.
Not this year, yeah. So I'm gonna say this because this keeps coming up, and we know there's another content creator out there on an island somewhere that really likes to take credit for when they call the ball in the air, and then later, like so many other content creators, minimize how much commitment they put into that. Can we just stop? It's HasLab. Every year, every content creator is going to take a stab in the dark. They're going to pay attention to things they've heard in other discussions and take those out to be little clues. We need to be more forgiving about this, all right? It's a guessing game. Everybody fucking plays. And then we create a shit storm when other people got the answer wrong. And it's gotten a bit petty at times, I think. It's just one of these things is like, just be happy you're getting a HasLab. We're good.
So that was the deal with that. Like that they talked about the focus group and that kind of stuff, the things they talked about in the focus group, and then the talk that there was a possibility that it might not happen this year. I always I didn't think there was a chance they weren't going to do one. I always thought that they were going to do one. I didn't know, but I'm like, yeah, they're going to do that. Now, I can kind of see them eventually doing away with this model and going to made to order.
Yep.
They'll be able to sell a whole lot more stuff and not have as much stuff to mark down. But we talk about that another time. It's just, kind of what I think. So everything she said, you got Frosty pointing to Frostbite, chill, cool. You got your snow flurries. So it's looking like it's going to be a snow cat.
Didn't she say you have to hang in there as well?
I think so. I think she said hang
You
in
notice
there.
those two guys are hanging off the back?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. I didn't catch that one. I was just
noticed
cold references. So and there's already posts out there about for everybody that says that it's too small to be a HasLab. It's not really that it's too small, it's that it's kind of too bland. So I love the Snowcat. I love the Snowcat. It's one of my favorite G.I. Joe vehicles, and I want it in classified. I don't want it as a HasLab. I think it's a waste of a HasLab. Maybe I'm in the minority.
I see a lot of potential in this. There's nothing saying that they can't do a couple of things to this. I said this a long time ago. The reason I think this makes a good HasLab is if you were to make a feature where you could slide the back compartment out that's holding that missile and put in crew seatings, you have a G.I. Joe APC. Gridiron's done that with Vamps. Right?
That's what I think they'll do with it.
You have to make this a little bit more versatile than what people remember the Snowcat being. Your 4-figure unlocks, you can't do patches this year. But the reason I think this is a good year to do the Snowcat is because partially, and we're going to talk about strategies all throughout, but here's the strategy, guys. You're getting a whole thing about the mass device right now, and a lot of that participated in the Arctic. You're going to get a polar battle bear. You'll get a winter scarlet, I'm sure, with that, or something to that effect. They're getting the winter stuff out of the way now. So do the winter HasLab now, because if you do it next year, there's probably less of a pull to complete that winter shelf with it. And there's other things that other guys are doing. The reason I didn't think they were doing the Mobat or the Mauler this year was because of what Ramen did. As far as I saw it, that market had already been dipped in a little bit. I'd let that cool and hit the fans with a tank in 2 more years. There's already a 12 scale tank out there from a reputable company. Why compete if you can do something else?
Oh, I agree with you. I just, there's such a lack of consistency and cohesiveness in things that they do. You mentioned the patches. I was going to say, what kind of patches do you think we'd get with this? So we got all these allusions to the Rattler being a tank smasher. So that you would think that would go hand in hand for a Joe ground vehicle for something for the Rattler to target. That's why a lot of people were thinking Mauler. I mean, I was still saying I'd have put money on it being the Whale. Looks like I'd have lost.
I wanted the Whale, but my wallet was disagreeing.
No, my wallet definitely didn't want the Whale. Say what's up to Dreadnought K6, a pair of polar battle bears, and Wraith Mace in the house. What's going on, Wraith?
Going on, Wraith?
And then Dave says, put the Snowcat beside your Hiss. I've seen it already. I know. I've seen the picture. They're gonna have to hiss it up, which, as Crow mentioned, that's probably what they'll do. They'll make the back that can open. I would like to see them do swappable turret, missiles and guns.
I'd like to see a new modernized canopy for that thing. Like they did with the Hiss tank. You're clear and then you're modular.
Yeah, I think they probably would, or I don't know. They need to be careful with their canopy production. We'll see in a few weeks when the Rattler is here.
Yeah, I know what luck I had with my Hiss canopy, and you had it with the Rattler or no, the Dragonfly, right? So
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. So yeah, it's not, it's not that much smaller. It's just that it seems like it's not a dream project. Maybe when they said that HasLabs were going to be dream projects, it applied to everything except G.I. Joe. Cause look, the Hiss is badass, the Dragonfly is badass, and the Snowcat will be badass. None of them are dream projects. The only thing that's a dream project is that we're getting them in 1/12 scale. So maybe that's the dream project part.
I also think the standard for what a dream project looks like changes every 5 years, right? Like the bar keeps going up. If you remember when G.I. Joe Classified first kicked off, the dream project was probably a fucking vamp. Like, oh my God, could we
Yeah.
just get the vamp? That's my dream. Right. And we keep raising it up to things that now we're up to Terror Dome size things. Well, okay.
Well, when you look at Dream Project, and then you look at the Katana, Jabba's Cell Barge, you look at Unicron,
Mhm.
even like Galactus, like those I can see those being dream projects. These are just like
So a
mid-sized
Cobra
hits.
Mothership would be a dream project for
That would be
us.
a dream project.
Yeah.
A Terradrome would be a dream project. G.I. Joe headquarters would be a dream project. These are just
Mhm.
cool. And they could do all of them for half the price without the electronics.
Yeah,
Even
you're not.
Punk last year said the Rattler didn't need to be a HasLab. It could be done without electronics and be,
So
150, $200.
let's look at another thing here. How long do you think this GI Joe classified market is actually going to be buying figures before we even age out of this? Right? Like the generations behind us might not be looking to pick up the line. So as far as I see it, what they snipe, um, yeah, they're trying to get it just at the right time and maximize what they can. If I can do a HasLab and make more during this short window that I have you as my buyer market, that's what I'm going to do. Right.
Yeah, possibly. But then again, it's smart because this is something that most everybody wants. I don't
Yeah.
see much hate anywhere for the Snowcat. My nose is really itching.
Mm.
So I mean, they'll sell a bunch of them. Triple C says, how much do you think it will be? I think it'll be $2.99. I think it'll be the price of the Hiss.
So are you including the inflation rate with the tariff uncertainties with that?
Yeah, because right now Hasbro's not doing any tariffs,
Okay.
so
Okay. So they're not
I
taking
don't.
any protection measures.
I don't think so. I think they'll turn people off.
Yeah.
I at the most, Sabir guessed 325. I
Yeah.
would say at the most, I couldn't, seeing the Hiss up here and knowing how big the Hiss is and the Snowcat is, I couldn't see them possibly trying to get more than 325 out of this with 4 figures with that protection possibly built in.
Yeah, no, I'm inclined to agree. I think that's what I pictured too was the HISS pricing system. 4 figures. The size, weight, and all that. Yeah, it's the same project. By no means do I think we should be looking at anything that reminds us of what the Rattler cost, right? So
Yeah. Dreadnought says it feels kind of like a cheap HasLab. They'd already stated that the snow wasn't HasLab worthy on one of the streams. People forget this. Now they backtrack. Oh, they don't think.
yeah,
They
but
don't think it.
Dreadnought, remember that was before they started doing the Mass Effect line and commit not Mass Effect, pardon me, the Mass Device line, right? Like they've already made a commitment to do some winter stuff, so they can pivot at any time if they get a new scent that they think they're going to make money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also remember, if you have Snow Job, he is the loneliest Joe on your shelf. Can we please be happy for the guy? He's
He
getting some
really
company
is.
finally.
He really is. And I love the Arctic guys. I love the Arctic stuff. So
It's him
um
and Alpine hanging out.
all right. So what do we think's gonna come with this guy for unlocks? So we know we're going to be getting Frostbite, or at least we hope we're going to be getting Frostbite. If we
Yeah,
don't get Frostbite with the Snowcat, we riot. But she said
you'll get him.
Frosty. Yeah. So
They're gonna want to do a big deal about his rifle with the huge kite sight on there. So you're getting this figure
I
100%.
I hope we get him, and I hope we get his weapon because it was one of the best ones in all of GI Joe.
I love that gun. Yeah.
I loved it, so I've still got it. I love this. I
Mhm.
love it so much.
Mhm.
This was one of my favorite rifles, battle rifle, whatever in Joe.
Yeah.
So Triple C says Crimson Wolf next year. Nah, I doubt it.
Cobra Wolf. Yeah.
Or Cobra Wolf. I
Yeah.
doubt it. Because they won't be consistent, and that's something.
Well, it'll be Cobra something though.
Yeah, or maybe we'll get that demon. So snow or frostbite. So what about Iceberg? You think they'll lock him behind the Hasbro lab?
Yep. You need to. This is the lowest hanging fruit. I'm going to be the guy that says it. You get to have some diverse ethnicities in this Oz lab. They love doing that. So yes, 100% yes.
I don't know. There's a lot of people that want Iceberg, man.
No, that's what I'm saying. Iceberg will go there.
There'll be a lot of people that are unhappy that they had to buy HasLab to get Iceberg. Blizzard. I think Blizzard.
I wanted Blizzard in there for a while. I kind of wanted him to be a solo figure, like you're saying. It's a good point. If you want your Winter Soldiers, this is how you're going to get them, right? But maybe that's what Retro can be for. I don't know. I like Blizzard. I loved that helmet.
See, I never cared that much for Blizzard, really. I don't know why. I mean, I like the snow guys. I don't. Maybe it's the helmet because I don't like the helmet. So
I didn't like his sled backpack. I remember that, but he had that Uzi too, right? The wrapped Uzi.
Yeah, the wrapped up one. Yep, right there at the top. Dreadnought says I'd like Quinn, but I doubt it. He was introduced as a bad guy, breaking the trend and mixing the troops. If they do Quinn, he'll be probably a deluxe figure, but they're not going to do Quinn because they hate the comic. They hate the Marvel run of the comic, so they're not going to do Quinn.
What's the barbarian that Duke had to fight again? Ragnar or
Ramar?
You know, I can see guys like Ramar, Quinn, Hector Ramirez, Candy Apple, all these guys. Like, there's a lot of people that want them, but maybe that's a HasLab in itself, is the fringe. You know what I mean? Just get a nothing but a fringe set and a school bus for scrap iron to smuggle drones in, and that's your HasLab.
That's right. Get some bats in there. So
there you go.
A smaller HasLab than inspected and 5 or 6 figures. I don't think people would be happy with that because they couldn't make 5 or 6 figures too exclusive to it.
Yeah. So remember one of the strategies that G.I. Joe Classified actually has going for it that a lot of these others like Marvel Legends doesn't, is that numeric collectivity, right? Once you start screwing people's numbers up, they stop collecting if they can't make them up quickly enough. And HasLabs are difficult for sequels. Yeah, they're difficult.
Yep. So I got a couple more in here. We got V2 Stalker.
Oh God,
everybody wants this figure, myself included. I definitely do not think they will lock this figure behind a HasLab paywall.
No, that kayak needs to be a deluxe set.
Yeah, when we get him, he'll be some kind of a deluxe with the kayak. I think. I would hope, but I think that's how they would do this one. So, a bunch of people have put this guy in the chat here. Then Sub-Zero is one that I forget about. I didn't have this guy.
Me neither. But why not? You know, like
I think he would be a perfect inclusion for a HasLab Snowcat, because if people miss him, they're going to be like, man, it's Sub-Zero.
So I had an idea of one that I want to see with this that I think makes absolute sense, and it would involve Hasbro doing what they do with HasLabs. You know how the Dragonfly gave us Ripcord and Crazy Legs, but these were Night Force variants, right? So you can look forward to that. So I know that there's a Tiger Force version of the guy that we're still waiting on, as well as the guy. But to me, we need an Arctic Lifeline with this kit. To have an Arctic Medic kit delivered like that, I'd be like, yep, That's
That
a great place to slide them in.
that would be pretty sweet. I'd be down for an Arctic Lifeline. I don't
Mhm.
really like Lifeline all that much myself, but I mean, I was a dot, person, but I think that would be awesome. That'd be a good way to do him, and then you're going to wind up doing a retro one or whatever later anyway.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
To Dreadnough's point, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, odds are, if you're a number guy, you're gonna order the HasLabs. Also, remember, there's guys who join the line late that maybe missed the first two HasLabs, and when they go to find them in the resale market, it's sometimes a little bit more of a hassle, right? So, the problem, you can approach that from 1,000 different angles. Yeah, yeah, you're not
Yeah.
wrong, K6. I'm just saying, there's other ways. Yeah.
So we got this dude here, Sub-Zero, and then I put his file card in here just for the sole purpose of he's really mean. He hates the cold, and the cold makes him mean. I'd never read his file card before. He's also from Rhode Island, so maybe he knows Woody. But when I was scanning through it,
Maximum.
maximum meanness. So I saw maximum.
And that's what I mean, like, Sub-Zero, he's even reading off like a little bit of a regurgitated snow job, because they talked about snow job. Just because he works in the cold doesn't mean that he likes it. So
yeah, just had to. And Dave said I had Sub-Zero, but not one of the greatest figures. And Sabir says, can they release him as Sub-Zero? Probably not. He'd probably be, what is it, Mark Habershaw? He'd probably be Sergeant Habershaw or some shit. So
or chill zone.
Yeah.
Chill Frosty. I'm trying to remember all the words she said.
Absolute zero.
Absolute zero. Max chillin'.
I threw this in here. I have this figure, but I don't remember having this vehicle. So this is Wind Chill. She said pretty chill. He's a driver. Nobody gives a shit about this dude, so I can see him being a HasLab inclusion.
So when you and Frostbite did that whole "let's look at the packages" thing,
I didn't do that with him.
Oh no, that's right. You and I were waiting, and it was Punk that did that on one of his streams. Yeah. Did we ever mention Scoop's binoculars on this flying in the back? Like, I'm just noticing the art, because the first I had to look at Windchill, I was like, oh, he looks like a Slavic sex machine. And then I was like, what's going on with Scoop?
Good thing he's got the strap on there. Huh?
Yeah. But look at Windchill sitting in there. He looks like a supervillain from Archer.
You would definitely be getting some wind chill in this thing. Look at this fucking thing. It's just
can I wear a mask? No masks.
just open ass canopy on this thing that has these giant knobby tires to go on snow. Let's put the money in the tires. Fuck the canopy and the heater. So what if it's really Wind Chill and the Arctic Blast and not the Snowcat?
Yeah, that's the HasLab fade.
Okay, so what if it's not Wind Chill and the Arctic Blast, but it's this son of a bitch right here?
Avalanche.
What if it's Avalanche and they're going to introduce Battle Force 2000 with the Dominator?
Oh my God.
The snow tank. It's just a snow tank. They can't even do anything else cool with it. It's just the snow tank.
It literally looks like somebody took 2 cereal boxes and made a vehicle out of it.
It's just the skis from the torpedoes from the Snowcat and like a hydro sled.
Yeah. We have to attack Joe. Get us to the top of the hill and then drop us down. Okay, Joe's been attacked. Okay, bring us to the top of the hill again. We got to hit him again.
Yeah, we need to hook a rope up.
Yeah.
Oh man, no. Johnny Reno says, "Hell's yeah, Battle Force 2000." Oh, what if it's Fort America or whatever the hell, Fort 2000 or whatever?
Electric Vehicle Squadron.
Yeah. So, So Snowcat, most likely. I do think no. There's been some folks in here, and I didn't highlight them, but should have different Arctic characters, Arctic Snake Eyes, Arctic Duke.
Yeah.
I can see two of these figures being Arctic somebody we've already got.
Yep. I agree.
I'd like
It'll
to
be Arctic Sergeant Slaughter and Arctic Snake Eyes.
I would like to see Arctic like Arctic Lady J and Arctic Gung Ho.
Yeah, we are so due for a new Gung Ho figure. If you think about this, we have not seen Gung Ho since Retro, and before that, he was figure 11 in the series.
Yeah, really early.
Yeah. Like it's time to get a new Gung Ho out here.
Yeah, Johnny Reno says Arctic Quick Kick is just a re-release, unchanged. Maybe he'll come with a leopard seal, or it'll be a 3-pack with Alpine and Bazooka with leopard seals. Yeah, dress blues. I know that's one my cousin really wants. He wants dress blues.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too. But I think the V3 Marine, where he's shirtless, waving the American flag, firing a machine gun, eating a wad of chew, like that one. That's the one.
That one could be a good figure. They're gonna have to lose the headband. That one could be it could be.
Why was it Confederate? Did that have
No, he just had a headband on that looked really odd because it was almost like a damn karate looking. I mean, it was solid, but it was just like wide. Just didn't look right.
That's fair enough.
Didn't look good. I didn't think, but I think that's a figure they could do.
Yep.
So we got our HasLab, probably going to be the Snowcat. They said at the end of June they're going to be doing the kickoff for it. We are going to be getting, they didn't say a stream, but they said something every week for Yojo June. So they didn't necessarily say they're doing a stream a week. So it might just be something that they drop on like, a quick video that they just drop the video, or hell, it might even be something they put out on social media and was like, hey, because they've done that before.
And they just did that recently with a new Cold Slither video.
Yep. Cold Slithers, the Thunder Machine. And,
Correctamo.
And I like the end of that video is you got my boy Cross Country and the Havoc in there.
I was going to bring that up because, yes, like it's been talked about a little bit, but it can't be overlooked. The Thunder Machine was one that everybody says they want to come to retail, So now we know it's not being considered for a HasLab. So take these clues with as much weight as you want to put into them, but timing is everything, right?
Yeah, and I actually thought, like, I had a brief hope, like, what if, when I saw that, and I'm like, what if this is a teaser and it's going to be the Havoc?
Yeah. So why can't the Havoc come out?
Well, the Havoc would be pretty pricey. It'd be hovercraft price, I think, or close to it.
So if it comes with one figure and it's priced around $200, could it work? That's pretty much what they said the shelf limit was, right?
Yeah, I don't think they could do the Havoc for 200 with one figure. I don't know. Maybe without all the electronics and shit in there. So I don't know. That'd be tough because there's a lot of plastic in that Havoc. One thing's for sure. I know I'm not getting classic cross country though. I can tell you that.
I think this was on Monday Night Ramblings that I was in the chat, or maybe I can't remember. Maybe you and I were talking on the side, but I think there's got to come a point where Hasbro is going to look at their driver pool and go, "We're going to start releasing some drivers with their vehicles. We have to."
I think they should.
They already did it with CoverGirl. They already did it with Copperhead. Yeah. So Cross Country, Skidmark, Ace, Deep Six, all these guys that traditionally came with something might not come with that thing. Would you still want them? And would you want a Steeler if he didn't come with a Mobat?
Yeah, Steeler was one of my favorite original characters. So I would I loved the drivers. Of most of the vehicles, especially up through 86 or 87. So most of those guys I would probably buy up through that period. You know, I'd love Cutter. You know, if we got Cutter without the whale, love
Yeah,
Cutter.
Cutter was a lone figure after a while. When he went to the DEF, he had his own lone figure, right? So you can
Mhm.
do a Cutter and justify it all you want.
Yep.
DEF has to come eventually too.
Yeah, if nothing else, just to get Headman and the Headhunter Stormtrooper.
And bulletproof.
Yeah, it's a good way to bring him in too.
Yeah.
Clint Jorgensen's in the house. What's going on, man? How you doing, Clint? Curveball and release a Hoth base for Joe with the Star Wars crossover.
You could get good use out of it, yeah.
Matthew says figures without vehicles means it's not a world building scale. That's true, but I think that at some point it's like Crow said, they're gonna have to. They can't do all of these vehicles. They just can't.
They can, but not to the standard we're used to. We're used to them prepackaged, click these wheels on, it's good to go. If you
Yeah.
were to take a page out of some modern toy makers and like I used like the Transformers stuff, put a bunch of pieces on the sprue that are pre-painted and colored and let the consumer assemble that model, you could get a lot of vehicles done and keep it under $200, right? Because you're not paying for as much assembly and boxing, but they won't do shit like that. So I don't think
No.
we're going to be in this line long enough to see the vehicles that we all want. Bottom line.
No, I don't think it's just not like feasible to do that anyway. But you're
No.
right. I mean, at the rate that they can release them and keep people in, because they're already, I mean, when the stuff is actually showing up and when it's coming, it's a bunch of it. You know, it's a lot of stuff, and that's what we're about to get into. So,
Mhm.
I am going to go make me another cup of coffee real quick and hit up the banyo.
Okay,
You
I
good
can't
for a
see the
minute?
chat. Well, I can't see the chat, so give me 2
Oh,
seconds.
okay. Well, I can wait till you.
Uh,
Yeah, I can wait till you're done, man.
I'll just get back up into my living room
Okay.
and talk about Venom or some shit. I don't know.
All right.
Let me try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we start going over today's pre-orders and giving our thoughts on it, I want to have my tasty beverage over here.
Yeah.
But we definitely had to talk about that HasLab. It's a big, of course, it's a big topic, and I think I think they've kind of dropped the ball on the HasLab. Last week, me and Pop Blender talked about where's all the HasLab speculation at this year. So they didn't do it as much last year. They've done none of it this year, but 2023, when the Dragonfly was coming out, like we got teasers. We got the little Cobra Commander and Hawk, and we got the teaser with the file with the 24 on it, and we were
Mhm.
all everybody was combing through images like, oh, the Dragonfly's got the 24 on it. We got all of that stuff. They didn't do hardly any of it last year for the Rattler. All we got was Lenny wearing a Cobra Air Force shirt, and we didn't get shit this year. We got no teases. We got Emily saying what it is without naming it. No, you know, it'd be funny if they did pull something out of their ass, and it is like the Dominators, or they made the Polar Battle Bear that seats like 8 people. But you know that there was none of that this year. There was no
Well, I mean,
mystery.
it's been an uncertain year though, too, right? Like you can't ignore the political tempo and a changing year going from China to Thailand. My point being is that there's probably so much uncertainty that they can execute plan A and not have to resort to B or C later, that they really
Yeah,
can't speak on a whole lot. Like
yeah.
they need some flexibility, so they got to be vague. Yeah.
All right.
I'm situated if you wanted to take care
Okay.
of
Yeah.
pretzel. Yeah.
Yep, I will be right back. Pop Blender's in the house. What's going on,
Sure.
cuz? Came to chew bubble gum and talk shit about Disney, and I'm almost out of bubble gum.
All right. You want to throw me on full screen there? I'll
I
talk
will.
about stuff. Yeah. So
Stuff and things. I'll be right back.
stuff and things. Yeah. So hi, I'm Crow. This is Venom. Isn't he nice and pretty? I can't stop playing with this thing, so uh yeah, I'll get a review out before the weekend on that. But Hi, Pop. Good to see everybody here. Uh, we're going to eventually talk about the Fantastic Four figures. Um, but and just so you guys know, I am following the chat over here because I can't do it over here. But I see a lot of people. Uh, did anybody get really excited when they saw that wave come out, or are you guys kind of like a lot of other people saying the MCU is not the same thing as the Marvel Legends as far as collectability? And I will answer Clint Jorgensen betting on Edmonton. I have to, buds. I have to. Uh, sorry, I'd call up the chat, but you guys can see the chat better than I can. But the yeah, that whole wave. One of the things, the biggest thing I have a problem with on it is just how it was expressed for the Human Torch. I think me and Darren are going to talk about those figures at some point, but I just we've been talking about some strategies that Hasbro used to make us want figures, and two packs seem to be the way that they really push a lot of stuff that maybe we know you want one but not the other. Look at Twilight Guard and Steel Core Commander as a prime example, or the Gamerverse figures that are coming out from Capcom, not Capcom, Marvel versus Capcom, the Gamerverse stuff coming out from Marvel. It's all two packs, right? So I was kind of surprised about the Fantastic Four not coming with a Human Torch two pack. You have to buy Flame On, Flame Off individually. Let's see. What I'm gonna read the chat out to you until Darren gets back. You stop collecting Marvel Crimson Cobra Commander, okay? Matt saying Clint Jorgensen said none in 2025, which should be interpreted as you won't get it until 2026. There you go. I'm assuming that's about the HasLabs. And Crow, what's it say? Bobby Wold Crow, that room is empty. You need more toys. Yeah, you're in my living room right now, and this is the first time I've been in this living room where there hasn't been a pile of boxes, and you couldn't even see this couch. So toys will get there, but I don't know. What do I got up there? I got G.I. Joe, Jada, and Marvel. And I have to actually put books on bookshelf or I don't look like an adult. I have not considered what my living room will look like with this many toys in it, but it's gonna be fun. What else is going on? Matt says someone had the clip of Chad on Circle of Jerks. It was pretty funny. I missed that. I caught part of their stream today, but they were going over a lot of the same stuff that we were planning on going over. So I was like, I don't need to watch all of this because I would accidentally probably regurgitate one of their points and feel cheap about it. But if they brought up Chad, I'm assuming it had something to do with the Patriot Force. If you guys aren't following that Patriot Force Kickstarter, apparently Chad from It's Chad has a character in there. He's one of the tier unlocks. It's a combat medic with the backwards ball cap that is apparently based on It's Chad. So maybe they were talking about that. I don't know. I think that's cool. You know, it's pretty flattering to have a figure based on you, regardless of who you like or dislike. You gotta admit, wouldn't you like to have a toy made of you one day? I think that would be. Clayton Jorgensen, Chad has broken two broke two Joe times kind of crossovers. The sources come through. Maybe it didn't. Maybe Hasbro chats. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Chad is also one that I heard a little bit of the talk about whether the snowcat would be a thing or not, and that was a long time ago in a conversation we were having. And yeah, this is what I had learned about YouTube is we laugh, we hold people to account, we hold their feet to their fire for things that they say. But in the end, everybody is just speculating off their best guess and the information they're interpreting at the time. I, I'll only draw so much eyes on it. That's all. It's out now. We know what it is. Say lovey. Hey, look who's back. I was waffling through all of that. God,
Woohoo!
so bad.
Woohoo! I had a
I'm reading them their own chat like this, Darren. Like, hey, and you said, and just to be sure, you said that.
I had a toy made after me one time.
Did
It's
you?
called the Great American Challenge. Don't look that up if you're on a work computer.
Oh dear.
All right, so Yojo June is here. You want to talk about some renders that we saw today?
Why not? Are we caught up in the chat? Yeah. Yeah, we're caught up enough.
Caught up enough, by golly.
I'm so glad you started with this. I had a question. You just reminded me of Do you have the pictures of the? Oh God, was it one of
No.
the Budo
Oh,
of his
yeah,
box? Sorry, there's one of
yes,
them that has the All Striker in the
yeah.
background
I
on the
got some
box.
Budo box for you.
Okay, good. Some Budo box, a good Budo box.
Yeah, I
All
ordered
right.
that at the Oriental Massage Parlor one time.
Okay. My point being is, I think they fixed the front wheels on the All Striker.
Okay, well, when we get to that, yeah, we'll have to check that out because I did not pay attention to it. I do have the box, so
Yeah.
um,
Oh
Roman
no,
Graham wants
sorry.
to know.
It was the MMS. It was the MMS photos I'm thinking of. They
I
they
have
had the All Striker in the background. Yeah.
uh, Roman Graham wants to know if you think Hasbro will do a muskrat crow.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do too.
Yeah.
I do too. I mean, he asked you, but I do too.
No, if you remember, I think it was like almost a year and a half ago, we got some leaked images of some mold pieces, and there was a boogie board in some of that, right? So I think he's coming.
I forgot about that. Damn, that was a long time ago.
It was a long time
That's
ago,
a
but these
long
things
time
get
ago.
planned out like 2, 3 years in advance, right? Like it's not a, hey, this week I want to start, let's flip a coin, do this guy. Like they do that a while back. So
Yep.
anyways.
So no really new ground here on the All Striker. We've seen this one before, which kind of surprised me that they decided to go ahead and show it to us again. Like this is reveal day. This ain't show us shit you showed us 6 weeks ago day.
Yeah, I don't know
Um,
why this was inclusive if it wasn't going up for pre-orders and
I
with everything else.
I thought this would go up today.
Me too.
I thought I think it will before the month is over, and watch them drop this thing the day that HasLab campaign kicks off.
Son of a bitch, yeah.
Yeah, even though you're not spending that money yet, it's just so you're gonna be getting like at least $400 worth of pre-orders on the same day.
Well, it's yeah, I mean, the challenge is to get you, the consumer, to commit, right? Challenge accepted. They're going to do it. What you just said, probably going to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Bobby says the All Striker have a tow hitch for the MMS. I would think so. I don't think we've
Yeah.
seen anything other than this picture yet for the All
I think
Striker.
I think that's implied. Like I said, the MMS photos do have an all striker in the background. So I think
Yeah,
they're implying that they can go together, but we'll see soon enough, I'm sure.
yeah.
Remember
It should.
The MMS
Yeah,
had a very pivotal
yep.
toe
For
hook,
the
right?
finger or the hiss. So, and
Yeah.
it's the same. It's the same shit. It's just a different color. So, I would I would think the All Striker not having a tow hitch would be a massive fail.
Yeah.
But it's Hasbro.
No, I would never
Right.
tow anything in my Strike Doom buggy, but
You're
I
in my
mean,
buggy.
yeah.
So here we get this new version of Sarge, and we get Tiny Mercer. There's a lot of people that seem really upset that Mercer is small. Sarge
So
is also big.
yeah, I was gonna say, why aren't we just saying Big Sarge? Like, maybe it's average Mercer, but I don't know. I feel like everybody had a very specific picture of Mercer in their mind, and it seems like a few people weren't picturing this. And I think this is fine. The
I
costume's
think
right.
both. I think both of these look great. And the chat saying they said in the stream that the All Striker does have a hitch. So
There you go. Yeah.
I don't remember it, but I'm sure they
Mhm.
did. We got some new stuff in this 2-pack. We get some new weapons in here. Get a bunch of new weapons in here.
I
We've
can't
already.
believe I want a fourth Sergeant Slaughter in my collection.
Oh,
But
you've
I
got
do.
the
I want
Vileverse one,
this.
don't you?
Yeah, I got that one too. Right.
Yeah.
But here I am going to get this one.
So I mean, I like Sergeant Slaughter, so I'm down for this. But I mean, you
Mhm.
get the head with the whistle, you get the Marine cover, you got the campaign beret,
Mhm.
damn knife, you get this revolver, which is new. We haven't seen that yet. Looks like
So much new stuff here.
like a fucking hey, it don't even look like a 44. That looks like a Smith and Wesson 500.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a dirty hairy pistol.
um, Of course, you got your Sarge fist. You get this shitty gun again, but okay.
Well, Isn't that Leathernecks or?
Oh no, I was thinking that was that the one that come with like the Valkyries and
No,
everybody
no,
else. No, that that
that
is Leathernecks, I think.
yeah. I think
Got
that's
some
Leathernecks or one like it, but it's an M4. Yeah.
got some paint apps on it, got this knife. So I think he looks good, man. I mean, I'm down for Sarge. Get this
Yeah.
damn belt fed rocket launcher,
Well,
a grenade launcher.
while you're up there though, have a really good look. Like he's got a red beret, but look over at that other head. He's got his whistle hanging out his mouth, and that's
Yeah.
epic.
Yeah, sculpted in whistle, man. I love it.
Yeah, that's like Breaker and his bubble gum, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I dig it. I really, because you throw that on there, man, with the drill sergeant hat.
Hmm.
And we got a call.
Yeah, Darren's fighting that cold, so.
Oh man. Um, so then over here we get Mercer. Have we seen this gun? This little vector looking
Yeah,
gun?
Chris Vector. I don't think so. I don't recall seeing one in the Joe line yet, like that. But I'm not sure if I'm up to date on everything that came out.
I don't think we've seen that gun yet.
Mm.
But Mercer looks just like I would want Mercer to look. Got his patch there with the snake with the cross through it, the line
Yeah.
out through it. Mercer looks good, man.
Yeah. He
There ain't
doesn't
another
suck.
head sculpt.
But
No, he
so
does
wait,
not
pan
suck.
down a sec. Just pan down. So that is weird. I wonder if that's just a digital render thing, but you notice his extra set of hands don't have the gloves.
Oh, no, they don't. So,
So,
well, this probably comes off because this was Mutt's.
oh, maybe,
Uh,
yeah. I
so this,
also, it could just be a copy paste thing. Like they're like, put a set of hands on there. That's coming. These are early renders too, right? So,
no, I bet that's probably right. I bet all of this, I bet the forearm guard comes off,
mhm.
and these whatever bracelets, or if that's a solid piece, that'll come off, and then you can have a whole ungloved like bare knuckle look for him. I bet that's
Yeah,
what
maybe
that is.
could be,
Um,
yeah.
but I dig these, man. I'll be ordering this 2-pack.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's. I wasn't sure because of Sergeant Slaughter, but once I saw that they went with that convention exclusive look and not anything else, I was like, God damn it! You know what I see here? I see a whole new. I think I said this on Punk Stream. A whole new breath put back into the 60th anniversary soldier because you can now have Sergeant
Yeah,
Slaughter match them perfectly with that camo, right?
yeah. You can
So
have that dude actually do something.
yeah, it's
And
just it's like yeah, Sergeant Slaughter looks at home with a batch of guys that stood
yeah.
out before, right? So.
So I dig this set, so I'm looking forward to this set. So then we talked about this dude earlier, maybe
Yeah.
coming after uh the Killdozer. So this is the
Yeah.
legacy police officer. What are your thoughts on this guy?
I was surprised. I really did think they were going to go with a medical professional of some sort, like a paramedic. I thought that would be the way, but I'm happy that they did a good police officer type. I think he's a mix of SWAT and standard police is what they were trying to accomplish, right? Because
Yeah.
he's got his standard police issue cap over there, and then he's got SWAT gear. But I think my favorite feature is just like with the Striker, it's that coffee cup. I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah.
I need
Yeah,
that.
man. And that's we're getting that with a crankcase with the All Striker too, but I
That's the
think
what
it's
I was thinking of.
perfect.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah. You
perfect.
having a cop with a coffee on the go, that's just that's chef's kiss to me.
And then you get throw his coat on him here like he's standing out working a crime scene and sipping on a cup of coffee, set up some barricades or something to keep people back. I I dig this figure. I am glad they went with a more of a standardized like patrol officer beat cop look than another full on SWAT guy, because I
Yeah.
didn't need another full on. I've got Shockwave,
Yeah.
so
Exactly.
I don't need another SWAT guy. So I like that the town I live in's got 17,000 people in it, and this is what the cops look like.
Yeah. And I think Jay Astro, he's touching on it there a little bit in the comments, and this was discussed on the other stream. This is like the firefighter. This isn't just going to be bought for just a G.I. Joe collection.
Oh, hell
This
no.
is Marvel Legends. This is all the 6-inch figure lines need these public servants, right? Like that's a gimme. My big thing is the worst thing I'm picturing for this thing, but the coolest shot in my mind is just showing two cops surrounded by the dreadnoughts. Like
Yeah.
just that kind of direness to that. And why there
Yeah.
needs to be a Joe is because that's what that looks like, right? So gonna have to buy two.
Yeah, I love this, man. I love this. Yeah, this dude I definitely want two of, obviously, for each ethnicity, but
Mm.
it comes with I love the coffee cup. It says Joe on it.
Yeah. Does he have a
So
body
it's
cam? I see the hand set for his mic. Does he have a body cam?
does not appear to have a body cam. Wouldn't that
Oh,
be awesome if he had a body
anything
cam?
goes with these guys then, man. You could have
Yeah.
corrupt cops or good cops.
Mm-hmm. And these
Mhm.
can be some of fuck, what is it?
Oh,
Daredevil.
Bobby asked that too. Bobby's like, "Where's the body cam?"
These can be the dudes from Daredevil, man. That the corrupt cops from Daredevil.
Absolutely, right? Like, yeah,
Um,
there's just it almost makes you wonder why this wasn't done before, like many times, right?
yeah, this would. I mean, like you said, this could be something that could work in just about any line. This scale, I like these guys. I'm still waiting on my damn firefighter. That is like that dude and Blowtorch are like the two. And Crystal Ball are the ones that I'm waiting on the most, man.
See, I
I
like this
think
better than the firefighter myself, but I think
there's
both are
more use
amazing.
for him. There's more
I,
use for this guy
maybe that's what it is.
universally.
Yeah, yeah, maybe.
So this guy's coming eventually. I dig this. So I think it stands to reason that we will probably get a like a medic and
I hope so.
something else, a nurse or something, maybe a
Doc is
orderly.
Doc is overwhelmed at this point, right? Like
Yeah,
he needs a
Doc is
staff.
snow job. Doc is
Yeah,
snow job or fuck, man, right
right.
now.
Nothing's getting done in their office. They're pissed.
And Bobby says the Marine snipers came with the Chris Vector, but it wasn't the same one, was it? I don't think it
No,
was the same
that's a
one.
different one. This is that's like I
This
know which one he's
one's
talking about. Those are the same
this
ones that came with low light. That was part of the low light weapons pack,
yeah, yep.
right? But that's a full on proper cross factor. So I'm not sure
Yeah,
what that other one was.
green shirts can change the heads more, if they make the neck pegs work.
Yeah, but here if you look, right, this is going to be another one where that neck is going to be the interchangeable part. It's
Yeah.
because of the ethnicities,
Yeah,
right? So
because of the color.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it's the
that's
same
right.
problem
Yeah.
you ran into if you tried to do things with your Marine sniper. Same idea.
Yeah. Maybe you can pull the whole neck out
You
of
can.
the other one and see. I don't know. Bobby says maybe Ramen will do a Crown Vic generic cop car. That'd be so. I think it's too generic for him. But then again, he did a plain ass white van. That'd be cool.
Dave?
All right. So moving on. This guy's coming. This is one that Pop Blender and I had talked about. This dude, as a prediction. Oh, I can't wait to see what they do with this guy. I don't know that I need a big ass articulated scorpion that's going to be big enough to make this a $45 set.
No.
Because it will be.
Remember what they did with the Frag Viper to make that modernized, but still keep that sci-fi feel element, right? They gave it an external factor, like let's make him a cyborg under here, right?
Yeah.
So that's what they're gonna have to do with the Desert Scorpion to make this worth buying as a deluxe set, is make that Scorpion into something that people just haven't pictured yet.
Well, wasn't it in a later version of Desert Scorpion? Wasn't the Scorpion a robot Scorpion in one of the I don't Power of the Force or one of the other Power of the Force.
Yeah.
Pursuit of Cobra.
Worst crossover I ever saw.
Oh God, that goes back to the Hoth playset. The
Yeah, I think you're
Pursuit
right.
of Cobra. I was
I
thinking
think that
POC, POF.
I think they did evolve it. They did. But so the question is now, what existing themes does Hasbro kind of want to reinforce in their Joe line, right? Should we expect this to be a Cobra Law Scorpion? Or is this going to be a extensive enterprises robot? Like, just where are you going to focus the story? That's all.
I really want a robot scorpion, but I don't think a robot scorpion would do so well in sand.
Well,
Like gets down in the gears. I don't like sand.
all
It's
I
so
can think of.
coarse and it gets everywhere.
Yeah, and I think of that scene in Transformers, and I think, okay, well, that would be like the low-hanging fruit, right? Like we seen that bursting through the sands in the very first Transformer movie.
No
But
Scorponok.
yeah, but it could work. I'm not saying it wouldn't.
Oh, dig it. I like this guy. I still have this dude. I've got him. It's one of the Joes that I've actually got complete. Don't have many of them that are still complete.
I never had this guy. I thought he was cool, but I never researched him until I got back into toys a few years ago. I always thought this was either a mix of Dusty or Snake Eyes. I thought it was like that's the next Dusty or Snake Eyes, and then I found
Yeah,
out he was a villain. Like I was like,
yeah,
what?
yeah. I like the environmental people.
Mhm.
Like I like the Arctic guys. I like the desert guys. So the water guys. Those are more than just your. I guess you're playing like you're like your Footloose or something. I've always
Mhm.
liked the specialty elemental guys. So of course I like the villains. So I was all over this dude.
For sure.
Bobby wants to know where the Filipino representation on the police force is. I probably in the Philippines would be my guess. If I had to guess, I would say in the Philippines, Bobby. I don't is your wife a Filipino police officer? Because I don't know where that come from.
Yeah, and these points would start coming, right? Because if you start counting how many ethnicities get represented in this line, you'll start seeing some get repeated a lot more than others. I think the firefighter has an Asian representation in
Yeah,
it, and
yeah,
that's a first, right? We had the Latina representation with the 60th anniversary, but if like people might start keeping count of this stuff. It could get really sensitive in here if you let it.
yeah. If you let it, and God knows people will let it. Triple
Yeah.
C's got to go charge his phone. So have a good
All
night,
right.
Triple
Good night,
C.
Triple C. Thanks for coming by, man. Love the
Matt
logo.
Matthew said it was the V2 Desert Scorpion Collectors Club that had the robot scorpion. All right,
There we
so
go.
looking forward to this dude. So they said defense post. It is the what they call it, the steel core century with the defense post. And this was the only thing I could think of that might be close to a defense post. This or maybe checkpoint alpha. So I just threw this picture in here of the watchtower. And of course, we don't have a picture of the what do we call it? The steel core century, but
No
we do
idea.
have this picture that come out today of this is supposed to be Night Force Beachhead, and this is supposed to be the Century Vest.
Okay.
Was a picture that come out today after the Joe stream. And this
See,
was one of the guys over in China that it wasn't Jay Khan, it's the other guy.
let me have a look at this for a second. I gotta. Yeah. Okay, they're different. I was gonna. While you're looking at my butt.
Yeah, look at my
No.
sexy body.
Okay. This just in from Canada. My ass. No. I was just checking because it looks like the beige ones, the tan ones. I thought for a second they looked like the original steel core or airborne vest, but they took the bayonet scabbard off.
Mm-hmm.
But they're similar, but they are different. Yeah, I was just checking. You get away with this one, Hasbro.
So I will tell you that the last damn thing I want is another steel core guy.
Yeah.
The defense post is going to have to be very cool for me to be interested in whatever this is going to be.
So I think you're going to get a very modernized version of that. And I know one of the things that I think Hasbro will try to bring in, if you take a look at what they did with the modular alley, whatever defense system that everybody's getting now with Trench Viper,
the battle
right?
shitter.
Yeah, build more big, and you buy more, build bigger. You get your backgrounds and your bases and things like that. Hasco Bastion containers. That's what all militaries use as defense now. Every
Yeah.
modern toy line is starting to print reflections of that on the aftermarket. I think Hasbro will produce Hasco Bastion with their defensive positions because they've already done sandbags with one, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep. I would, if they're gonna do like a checkpoint defense, if it's something like that, if that's the route they go, I want spike strips.
yep,
Some
sort of control.
I want spike strips, and I want that little sign that says "Do not back up. Severe tire damage may occur."
Yeah.
As you have an M4 pointed at you.
You know what else you need? You need those, and people will love this because it'll go with their Rattler, but you need those little light sticks too, because some stupid drivers really need somebody waving that at them. You're going here.
Over here, asshole, this lane. Pull over, or you could say pull over. You pull over here. We need to get the mirrors out and look underneath your pest control truck as you're trying to get on an Air Force base.
So I know a lot of people can remember what they spent New Year's Eve 1999 doing, which was probably drinking. I was doing a vehicle checkpoint in Kosovo, and I had to fucking point my rifle at a car that couldn't follow the light sticks and watch that car go into the ditch. And I'm I just thought of other terrain features I want. I want a ditch. I want a molded ditch to push it.
That'd be great.
Everything goes in there.
New Year's 1999, I was at Silverado's Dance Hall and Saloon with Pop Blender and several of my friends.
I want to see the haircuts of that era. You and Pop styling and profiling in the 90s.
I think he had long hair. I think he still had long hair then.
Right.
All right. So
hi, Jetman.
GI Jetman, what's up? I left that up so I wouldn't forget to come back and say what's up. What's up, GI Jetman? All right, so let's get on with what we actually got to see today and try to get through these quick as possible.
Not too quick. Not too quick.
Well, we still have an actual topic to do, and you have a deadline tonight.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah, I am looking at the time. It's 11:11, but we can do this at a comfortable pace.
All right, that's what she said.
That's right.
Matthew had hair past his shoulders. My hair is past my shoulders right now, and that's the longest it's ever been in my life.
Yeah.
What's up? Welcome back, Ronnie. I saw you had to step out and have some pizza. So, all right. I'm gonna throw this up real quick. Chris McLeod shared this. The other day on Full Force. These guys are supposedly in the States now with the ports, or some of the Firefighter and Breaker. We've seen Shark Eyes got Breaker. I think somebody else got him. Was it Bobby B? There's a few reviews out on Breaker. I haven't seen any on the Firefighter yet, so I'm hoping that the one I've got ordered through GameStop shows up early.
Yeah.
Because I've got him ordered there too. So anyway, though, we should start seeing these just about any time. So I did want to throw that slide in there in case anybody missed that. So all right, so here we go with Budo. This was the first image before we got all the this was the render that leaked. So I'm gonna go ahead and skip through this one and show some of the other pictures of him. Here's our package. There's our Budo box we were talking about earlier.
Box of Budo, yeah.
Her Budo box. And here's I dig the back.
Anybody watching him from that wood line? Do we have any characters tucked into the trees there?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. I absolutely love this right here. It's got the damn
that
Japanese
is cool.
the Japanese GI Joe logo on it. That's my favorite detail, and this guy's got a lot of detail packed in him.
He really does.
This is a great looking figure, and I did not order him. I didn't order Budo.
I couldn't order it. It was not available where I looked. I know if I go to other sites, it'll be available, but I am sure I will find this figure at some point. But I think this is a must-have.
So for me, he's not as much of a must-have. I was still collecting. I was still buying Joes when Budo come out. I did not have Budo because I thought he was stupid. I still think he's stupid, but he looks awesome. Raptor's stupid too.
I thought that stuff about Cobra Law as well, and I have it. Right? Like
Right.
sometimes I don't mind spending money to prove myself wrong, to say that something that was stupid is no longer stupid. And this does not look stupid to me. And I agree with you on what Budo was to me younger. But now this is a perfect example of applied talent as I see it.
Now, the more that I go back and look at the pictures of him, I do think he is cool. And he's probably another example of a character that I didn't care for that just is going to translate into a damn good modern figure. So I probably will wind up ordering him.
Let me put it to you this way. If I were to show you this figure tomorrow and say that this wasn't G.I. Joe and I was making a line of these, tell me you wouldn't be interested. It's because it's G.I. Joe that it seems so weird.
Yep. And right after I just said that I'm looking forward to the hypnotist mystic guy with the Cthulhu mask. So yeah, you make a good point. I do want to say real quick, what's up to Legend series. He said Budo's a definite must buy.
Hey, Tone.
Legend, yeah, man. I hope you're doing okay, man. I'm
good to see you, brother.
Glad to see you. Yeah, glad to see you hanging out.
So I'm not gonna say it because he put it on Facebook. People know Legend lost his dad the other day, and we've all been thinking about that. And I'm telling you right now, Legend, I'm getting together with my dad this week, and I don't really get along with the guy, but I'm gonna be thinking about the time I have with him because of that. So I'm really sorry you're going through that, man.
Yeah, man. I'm not a good time. I went through it with the other parent, and heart goes out to you. Let us know if you need anything, brother.
Yeah.
Jay Astro, don't buy him or don't lie, you'll buy him. Yeah, I probably will because the more I look at him, man, he does look cool. So he's got the removable samurai armor, which I like. I like the fact that all this comes off of him. Got the helmet, which I'm not really crazy about this one, but I do like the one with the mask. Now people are saying this is looks like Keanu Reeves.
I was saying that. I said that this is 47 Ronin John Wick dream set, right? Because you can strip all that armor off and just get him down to his t-shirt, right? So it's whatever you want this character to be, you have a lot of choices.
And I didn't see that, and you were the first one that pointed that out, and I was like, I didn't even see John Wick Ronin look, but I see it now. I can't unsee it. Matthew is just tore up about the swords.
I was gonna say, I read Matthew. If it wasn't for G.I. Joe, people would leave that up for a second. Because he didn't finish what he meant to say. It says, if it wasn't for G.I. Joe, people would shit all over it for the swords being upside down and on the wrong side. And I'm sure it meant to be, and you would be at the front of those people leading the charge, right, Matt?
Absolutely.
With your sword in the proper hand.
Yep. I asked him what side he wore his swords on, and he wears his swords on the proper side.
I laugh, but I'm like Matt. Like, this is when you get a logic flaw that shouldn't be there, you can get obsessive about it, even on a toy. I'm like that with ammo clips and things like that. So I joke, but Matt, I'm with you, bro. If it bugs you, it bugs you.
Yeah, and when you do a tactical perspective on these figures, so where you compare it to real world applications. So when you get Budo, I expect you to mention that.
But no, then I'll defer it. I'll be like, okay, I never used ninja swords except for the last 4 years of my career.
that is when you do what Ken does at Toy Connections, and you bring on somebody that sends you a clip talking about it, and you splice that in. So you get Matthew to talk about why the swords are wrong and send it to you, and then you put that in your video.
Exactly.
That's how you do that. So they got some really good shots of Budo here. We'll go through them, look at them really good. Of course, we know how well the photography really stands out on these, you know.
Oh,
He does
lighting
great
means a
job.
lot. Yeah,
Lighting
is
lighting's
everything with that mask. Yeah. So I want to take this one just to mention one of those other strategies that we're gonna like. We talked about strategies, and Budo is a beautiful execution to a very easy strategy Hasbro did. Right? They built up the ninjas for a while. They were lackluster, and then they saw all the response for the slice and dice and everything, and they've timed this release where these things augment each other beautifully. Having Budo fight slice and dice is going to happen in a lot of photographs. Am I wrong?
Oh
Right?
yeah, 100%.
Okay. So symmetry of release and timing these things well is a really good strategy to maximize how you sell these figures, right? If I
And they
release
don't do it
Budo,
that often.
they know, but they're starting to. And this is the other part of it. The other part I want to point out, and it's not as clear. Consider for a second how that and Slice and Dice will look with Night Force Quick Kick when he's wearing his red mask. Right? Symmetry and balance within the line. We're starting to see some hints that they do look at this and go, that's the right time to release that.
Well, it's only almost 6 years in, so glad to see they finally getting the message, because they haven't done anything cohesive since Cobra Island, I don't think. So
No, but you
you
can lay a
release.
yeah, I think what we saw was them laying foundations, and now we're starting to see them build on them, right? Like, look at Sergeant Slaughter. I said 60th anniversary Soldier Cat Pat. That was laid 2 years ago, but now we're building off that. So I think this is a
And
good time for these figs.
I think it's more of they were like, oh well, we got to find something to go with this guy. And they were probably already planning that version of some other version of Sergeant Slaughter, and they're like, "Oh, let's make him match that dude." I don't
Good.
think they plan everything that well, honestly,
Well,
myself.
I don't know. It's a lot of money to just kind of wing it, right? You just have to hope there's plans.
Well, look at what 2 waves ago. I mean, I'm looking at them right here. We got V5, Storm Shadow, and Alpine fighting Iron Grenadiers and Bats. We had Techno Viper and Big Boa fighting Quick Kick. So I don't know, man. I don't know. So we got through some more shots of Budo here. Not gonna spend a ton of time on them because we got several to get through, but
he also looks like he could be a little bit of a drug dealer. I'm just saying.
he looks a little bit like Top Dollar from The Crow.
Oh yeah, there you go. Maybe that's what I'm picturing. But yeah, there's a little villainous in that.
Yeah, I can see that. Looks a little bit like every romanticized depiction of a modern Dracula, too.
Yeah,
I can see. Let's see. Model Misfits in the house. What's going on, Loki?
okay.
All right, so another one. I like this with the pulled back.
Yeah, I mean, these are really every photo just keeps me going. Yeah, do I want one or do I want two?
You really get a lot with this guy.
You
He comes with
do,
a
yeah.
lot, man.
And then think about it. If you don't like his kit, go give him some kit from Slice and Dice. You still got some good stuff going on here.
Yeah,
right?
they got plenty, that's for sure. And see, they've even got him fighting bats. Like, I do like this where
we can't
slicing
show
the
him
head.
running cobras through with his sword, right? Like whatever he's got to destroy can't show blood.
I don't know. I say, give me the blood, but
Yep.
I like this. I got a picture like this with Hawk fighting some bats, lopping off a head. So I dig the photography they're doing. And there he is, like he says, stripped down.
Yeah, that was the picture I was thinking of when I said that. Yeah.
And I think I got most of them from Budo. I didn't get them all from the others. So here's his. I don't know what do you call this, like cape thing.
Yeah, it's like a grass skirt that the Kate the shade. I think it's camouflage more than anything for attacking out of bamboo and stuff. But I don't
Okay.
know. I'm not
Well, that
Matt
makes sense. I'm
Matson.
playing. I'm
Matt
playing Ghost of
Matson has to
Tsushima.
know. There you go.
Uh,
I'm not even doing that, but if anybody's versed in samurai lore and why they wore the things they wore, like I understood wood armor, but this, yeah,
uh,
I don't know why they wore that.
well, if anybody is, it's going to be Matthew.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a little. This one kind of gets me a little bit. Like
Yeah.
this one. This one's like peanut butter and mayonnaise.
I want this one to be like, okay, we find out he's actually time cop. This is a shot of him going back to ancient Japan with a bullpup right now. Like, we sort this shit out. I am the emperor now.
Oh my god, that's funny. Did you watch the infographics? The episode about what happened if one modern soldier went back to ancient Egypt
I've seen those
with an
infographics.
M16.
Yeah.
So that's what this reminds me of.
What is it?
Purple says, I just like the man bun. She gives me shit that I put my hair in a man bun, which I don't. I just pull it back and put a tie in it. But she says it's a man bun. It's not. I swear. Matthew says it's a travel cloak camo to keep weather off the armor. All right.
Yeah.
What'd they lube the armor with, Matthew? The blood of their enemies?
No. Tears of honeybees.
Yeah. Butter.
I remember when I first started the channel, this was like the last figure I ever wanted to see. I remember saying that many times.
This is why I never wanted this dude. Like I hated this dude, and this guy hung around like a funky pair of socks that you just threw on the floor and didn't pick up the wash. And there were pegs of Budo around here at that time period.
But I've said that before. I think like one of the greatest things they must experience working at Hasbro as one of their creative designers is to get that challenge to say, take this character that nobody likes and make it the figure of the year. Like show me how you would approach this. I think that's if anybody enjoys solving puzzles and problems, you would have to enjoy that job.
I think I would enjoy trying to do that, especially if they actually ever did any kind of a story to fit in with it, which they don't 100% like to do. So I just threw Budo's file card up here. Kyle Gesso from Sacramento, California. His father was an orthodontist and his grandfather was a farmer in Fresno.
Yeah.
And his great-great-grandfather was a fencing master in one of the last great samurai warrior families of Japan. So he's 4 generations removed of anything to do with samurai shit. So,
and that's how I always took it too. I always pictured this guy just kind of bonding a little bit of a wannabe samurai that joined Joe, like I guess the lore is there. So
now I do like, to make it even more nonsensical, like he could have had even higher rankings if he didn't spend so much time working on his chopped panhead Harley and listening to heavy metal. All right.
You know what, though? As amusing as it is, they've given this guy a unique kind of character. Like, you can picture this guy and laugh, but you can picture this guy. You know what I mean? Like, I picture him working on his bike, and he's got this whole samurai setup on his wall that I mock him about all day while he works on that bike, right? But I think they do a good job.
Do you think when he rides that panhead Harley, he wears that helmet?
I guarantee you that Panhead Army has like cherry blossom trees painted all over it and wood paneling and all that beautiful stuff.
All right, let's move on from Budo before I reconsider. So, all right, got the MMS.
And there's the All Striker.
With Colonel Hawk, and there is your All Striker.
So, for some reason, with them turned at that angle, and maybe it's because they're blurred, I get the impression they've widened or done something to those tires, but I can't be sure. It just feels like they're different. Or maybe I'm just wanting them to be.
I don't. We can't see the back one, so I don't
You can
know.
just make out the shadow of them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the wheel well or in the edge
Mhm.
of it there. I don't know. I can't. It doesn't look like it to me. It looks like
Mhm.
they're maybe a little wider. I don't know.
Maybe. But maybe it's just the idea that when I picture a dune buggy, I never picture it with all four wheels straight to begin with. So,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
So we got our MMS with Hawk. They still didn't fix the damn blast effects on the rockets.
Yeah.
I tell you, man. What do you think about this thing? Did you order it?
I didn't get the opportunity to. I'm sure I'll have other opportunities. And God, I really do not care about the MMS. It's Hawk. This is how you get your Hawk. I'm an OG 13 kid, so
Mm-hmm.
I won't deny that that's the only reason I want it. Um, Aside from that, yeah, I'll get it if I can find it, but I'm not gonna be really upset if I can't.
Um, so I didn't order this. I don't need it. I mean, I like it. It looks fine. I
Mhm.
have the other one with the Techno Viper, and I think it was overpriced at $75.
Mhm.
Hawk looks great. I do.
He
I'm
does.
like you. I would like to get the Hawk figure, and I may get this down the road, but I didn't order it for now. You're a couple years older than I am, and you hit closer to home with the OG 13 guys. For you, I'm sure you had them much sooner than I did. I didn't
Mhm.
get into Joe's until 83, and then I got all those guys. Like I'd already gotten um like Torpedo and a couple of the 83 figures before I ever got any of the 82 guys.
Yeah.
So um, for somebody that's really after the OG 13 figures, I can definitely see where this is a must have.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean, I'm not resentful that they included with the MMS. That is the way it should be. He should have been
I
included with it. So,
I agree.
yeah.
Look, he come with it originally, so yeah, I think he should
Mhm.
have come. If they're gonna do the MMS, he should have come with it.
Did they do
So
one where they show all the kit layout? Like when you go through the photos, is there going to be one like
yes,
the render? Okay, good, because there's
yeah,
something I'm looking for and I'm not seeing it, and it's not there, and that's odd. So, getting
there's the
back to
kit.
strategy, right? They've stopped a strategy that I didn't think they were going to stop, but it tells me maybe they're paying attention to how it's been received. But why isn't there a steel core helmet with this? With that buck, you're telling me that you don't see a troop builder in that buck,
I mean,
or you've given one to Clutch, to Shockwave, to Wreckage. You have an opportunity to build this line again, doing that, but you're not doing it with this one, and I'm curious why.
yeah, that's a good point. Maybe they figured they already threw enough stuff in there.
I'm wondering
I
if that's it. Right?
I
But then
don't.
you hear Steel Core Outpost.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's just it. So I don't
Mhm.
know. I'm kind of surprised as well. I do like the helmet that he comes with. I dig
It
that
is
helmet.
cool. Yeah, I love the modern helmet designs. That they've never really done me wrong with those.
Um, it's the same thing as the Cobra, the text missile, which I
Mhm.
always jokingly called that because they mixed them up. That's how we knew we were for sure getting this one because they called that one the MMS first and then changed it. Um, So, it's whatever. I'm glad they're making it for everybody that wants it. Um,
Mm.
it looks fine. It's just not anything. While I'm kind of scaling back a little this year, it's not anything I've gotta have. I do want I do want Hawk. Hawk looks good. So I
Yep.
might wind up getting it, but I didn't
I,
order it today.
I will definitely want to buy this because I think it'll look really nice behind the vamp, of course, right? Like it will. But yeah, it's just doesn't have the buzz. Like it's not a crisis situation where it was like, oh, snake armor. Like I'm worried I'm not going to get the snake armor. You know, wasn't that same kind of order buzz for me.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Not for me either. I got some good shots of it here. I like that picture.
I Yeah. And this is something that so yeah, we'll work it in because we do want to be done by a certain time. But here's another strategy I think Hasbro does really well. When they plug their stuff, they do it well in advance enough to get that buzz going, but they're as quick as they can be to get some really good photography done. And the one thing that I wish they would do to make it more connect with us as the consumer and the audience watching these live streams is you have an entire catalog of back figures. And when you're doing a live stream, you're showing us those figures with other figures in that same wave. But if you were to start showing us these figures with older figures beside them, I think the people that collect these things start connecting with it a little bit more about how that's going to look on the shelf and the potentials and why they want to buy it. Like I love these action shots, but G.I. Joe is a collective, right?
Yeah, they haven't done any shots of like the cartoon intro with them doing the Yo
Yeah.
Joe from, like you said, different waves. That'd be awesome
Like
connectivity.
showing some photo shoots of a special missions team as opposed to just the two figures of the wave reflecting on each other's boxes, I think speaks more to the strength of the line.
Yeah, I agree. That would be a good thing for them to do, but they're
Mhm.
focused more on selling the current, the current
Yeah.
wave than because they're not anything that's a year old. They're probably not going to make much money off of. It's probably moved off of their site, stuff like that. So,
But
um,
okay, so conversely, if they did that and you became frustrated, like you keep showing old figures I can't get, what would be the residual effect of that if not that FOMO effect coming in, making you more eager to get your pre-orders in all the time so you don't miss any more figures like you feel
yeah,
about those guys, like the
that's a good
the
point.
these selling strategies I think are just things that make me curious why Hasbro does or doesn't do them sometimes because they're there, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think they should do some photography with some like a wave or two back, whatever teams, Night Force, whatever. This guy they could have put him with Rock and Roll.
Yeah, rock and roll, grunt, stalker, breaker, have them all running forward, right? It's a big line.
Uh, say what's up to Kenzo's Creations. What's going on, Kenny? How you doing, man?
So,
No, we're not talking Motu. We're gonna get there though.
man.
Just as soon as we finish this stream, and we're gonna talk about. I come to you for all of my Motu talk.
Yeah.
Let's
I
see.
might go down a Motu rabbit hole this year and get a little bit more versed in it, but
I pick up a very few. I got the
yeah.
Prince Adam and the Cringer because I wanted Cringer.
Yeah.
I like them. I don't. They're fine. It's just not my bag, but I do. Have the love for them.
Mhm.
All right, so get through these, get through this. Man, there's a lot of pictures of this guy. All right, now on to Slice and Dice, and I think these are the last ones that we've got to show here.
Mhm.
So, what do you think about Slice and Dice, man? I think they look great.
Yeah, I ordered a set. I had a lot of problems with the Hasbro site, so I may have actually ordered about 15 of these. But I know for sure because I got confirmation on one of them. So I'm excited. I love that hat on the left with this
Yeah.
set. I've
Yes.
been waiting for them to do something like that. So cool.
I need some of these hats so I can do the guys from Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah. You mentioned that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had Slice when I was a kid. I never had Dice. Slice was one of the last two Joe figures that I bought. I had
Mhm.
Slice and that awful green Firefly from '92. I never had Dice. I just Slice looked awesome, so I had Slice. But man, I'm pretty stoked about these guys.
Yeah.
And I didn't save all of the pictures because I realized how many I had for Hawk. So I actually didn't get pictures of all of the kit they come with laid out.
Well, there's so much.
There's a
Like,
ton of stuff, man.
yeah, so you can do a lot of different combinations with these guys. They can have a lot of different likes. They don't have to be slice and dice. Right? Like it's pretty cool. This validates if you had the Blue Ninja sets and you were kind of like, they're getting boring, this will breathe new life into your ninja shelf, I'm sure.
Yeah, man. They look good. And these, like, when they announced them, I was like, okay, they could they can make slice and dice pretty cool. And then we saw the renders, and we talked about that when we first saw the renders. I was like, holy shit, these guys look awesome.
So I actually, yeah. Sorry, were you about to say something? Because I have a rant.
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, I dig them, and I saw a lot of people online have the issue that you said with slice and dice, like they got the red screen of death error message trying to
Yeah.
check out with them.
Yeah. Okay,
but
good.
these
So I
guys
wasn't the only one.
No, there was quite a few people that had trouble with these guys, and
So
it was just them.
yeah, I was able to do it off my iPhone, but I wasn't able to do it off my tablet. So maybe if you were working off a computer trying to do it, that's the same as a tablet, and there was an issue. But off the iPhone, I had zero problems. So I don't know. It might have been software in the way.
Well, I use I use the browser. I use the Chrome. I use Chrome, and I go to the website, the mobile website. I don't fuck with the app. Their app is trash. I've had people tell me it's fixed now. I uninstalled it. I'm not even. I just go straight to the Chrome website.
Okay. So I'll tell you what I just realized, and it goes again. Here's another strategy I really like, right? Is when you can piggyback off another company's success in any way, shape, or form, but it's still your own thing. That's fair game, right? And right now, I see Hasbro and I'm sure it's coincidental timing at best, but right now they are really kind of riding with Jada right now, and they look good together. Jada and Hasbro are doing things together. Not as in they're planning it, but if you look at how these ninjas are going to look with scenes with Street Fighter characters or with some of the Capcom just fight characters from the video game lines, I think that's what these characters and all that kit brings in, is you can fold these in with a lot of other things on your shelf now as well, right? And I don't know if it's intentional, coincidental, or just fortunate, but it's great because I love the idea of buying one toy to support a different line entirely sometimes.
Yeah, and they will look good with any of those characters. Like I got, Sagat sitting here. These guys are always sitting around. So that's a good point. I think it's probably just fortuitous timing. But maybe, maybe they got a bug in the wall somewhere else, and they're like, yeah, maybe we should try to plan this out for this. So Joe Fan always likes slice and dice. Kenzo, these two look freaking awesome. So now I got this next picture of Slice. Or no, okay, it's coming after this one. So this is a good picture of Dice with the axes.
Yeah, and that dragon mask is something you're going to have opinions on that different every day.
Yeah.
I hate it. Now I love it. Now I hate it. Now I love it.
I hope the paint on it looks as good. I mean, you got at least three paint apps on it, the silver, and the blue, and the red, eyes on there. So
black,
I mean, I'm digging it for like a mystical, fighting guy.
Mm-hmm.
So this picture of Slice is the next one. This was the good picture of Slice. I like this.
Mm-hmm.
Got his fencing style mask, getting ready to take somebody out. What is that little Cobra logo thing down there?
Yeah, that's part of the box, because this is taken off the back box art, I'm sure.
Okay.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe not.
I don't know. I thought this was a promo. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, no, I'm out of it.
It don't matter.
I'm really happy they didn't use this as an excuse to give you old Ninja kit.
Yeah, me too. They got a lot of new stuff with this. It's almost all new stuff with them.
Yeah, no grappling hook with string. You've got me. I'm good.
If they give it to them, actually give a string. That's
Before you leave this picture, can you blow up the dude standing in the back? He looks really skinny.
That's a stick foss ninja.
Is that what,
no, I don't know.
Yeah, but I know that they do have a cameo in one of these promo pics of some figure we should be speculating about.
It was from a Deke episode, and I think somebody said it was Snake Eyes. I saw that, but I didn't investigate very far into it.
Well,
so this, go ahead.
I have a theory on a figure that might be coming, and it's the Ninja Viper.
I think they're gonna do Ninja Viper. I can see
Yeah.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
they hadn't used that Storm Shadow mold for a while.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get Ninja Viper for sure. Ninja Coup, perhaps even. Yeah, Snake Eyes, the Dick episode, the sword. That's what it was. That's what it was. So this picture of Slice right here. What the fuck is going on in this picture?
He's dodging a bullet. I don't know. That's I guess if you want to show how flexible they are, he can be ducking under a kick or some arrows. Like, I don't know. This is a questionable shot, though. You're right.
I'm like, what is this? Like,
You know when you can hear a picture.
oh,
Hey,
shit. I don't
what's
know,
up,
man.
guys?
Maybe this is just a picture solely to show the articulation.
That's what I mean. Like, it's got a purpose, but how is it saying it? Like interpretive dance characters. Like you can use them as anything.
Oh my god, it's this is the conga variant. It's the chase
Yeah, like
conga.
is he supposed to look like demonically possessed? It's very interesting. I don't like this picture. It's making me question my flexibility.
This looks like something out of all of the early 2000s horror movies with some kind of character that their joints do this kind of shit. So,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know. So I saw that one. I'm like, I got to throw that picture in there because
yeah.
like
It's a
that.
weird one.
That's like, you know how when you take pictures and you take like 10 pictures and you get one or two good ones, that's one that don't make the cut.
Well, that's probably our ignorance at play. There's probably a perfectly like, don't you understand the Kumasari move? Like no.
He did
Oh my
that in
god.
issue 124.
Yeah, if
That's
this
when
turns out to be like a white belt Brazilian jiu-jitsu move, I'm gonna feel like an idiot.
oh man, don't make it jujitsu, Joe. Let's see. What's Matthew saying? Did you see the Jada flamed character sprite that's supposed to come with the SDCC? I did not.
A
Did not.
flamed character.
Flamed character
So would
sprite.
that be out of like is that gonna be out of the video game lines that they're doing, or is this some other Jada project? I'm not sure which character it
Uh,
would be. That's
yeah,
interesting. Flamed
I'm not.
characters are gonna be all the rage, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I got this Final Fantasy or Final. I'm tired. Fantastic Four Human Torch picture. So he says
Yeah.
it's a Voldo post from Soul Calibur.
Okay.
Yeah, he's auditioning for the ring.
Yeah.
So Jeff says it is from Street Fighter 2.
Okay.
So I don't. That'll be a new one. When you light up a dude with fire, they'll light up.
I know what it is. I ran out of quarters and I couldn't unlock anything fiery
Yeah,
one. So yeah.
I didn't play it enough to ever get.
Oh, so yes, now I know what he's talking about. And it was one of the things I said was missing from Dalzim. In the video game, Dalzim breathes fire, and they didn't have any
Yeah.
way of showing that. So this could be answering that kind of gap. That's brilliant.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now,
Yeah.
and he says that pose is directly from Soul Calibur and the Voldo character. Okay. Is
Okay. All right.
Voldo a ninja?
Yeah. Now I'm picturing
A
some of the video
fencer?
game things, and I think I remember which one he's talking about because I do recall I did play Soul Calibur for a little while. Okay.
He sent
I
you some
understand.
pics. Okay. All right. So while we are really, really, really running over, I think we could probably do this and not get too over.
Yeah, I think we're good, buddy. If we're over a bit, it's not the worst thing in the world, but
Okay. Well, it's all on you. You need to go to bed. So
earlier today I asked Darren if we could try to keep it to, be done by midnight because I've got a couple of big days while I'm trying to get ready for a trip. But if we fudge it by a few minutes here or there, I'm not worried. We're having fun. So I'm having fun.
Oh yeah, I'm good. I haven't taken Ambien yet, so I'm still coherent. Cough drops are holding out pretty good. So we decided to think up things that Hasbro could do, primarily with GI Joe, but in general, um, if they really want our money,
Yeah.
what kind of things could they do? A little bit better tactics, um, promotions, whatever. Could they do if they wanted us to spend more money, stay with lines, whatever? So, what did you want to speak on, Crow? What'd you have in mind?
Well, mine wasn't really what they. I've been speaking on some of the strategies throughout the
Mm-hmm.
episode. So these are some things that I see them doing that Hasbro does, and I think these are strategies that they do quite often on purpose. And so I'll just rhyme off a few. Make it a 2-pack, right? So if they want to hit a certain quota, they want to put a certain character, they'll put a 2-pack out because they know probably one of those two characters is going to pull that sale. It's not going to be both of them usually, right?
Twilight Guard.
Twilight Guard was one, and I was talking about this a little bit when you left, a part of the stammering. But if you look at the Capcom sets right now, right? They can disrupt that a little bit. The Captain America and Venom pack, I think, is one that they're going to have a little bit of a struggle with because Venom's not a very strong paint character. It's a very niche character that people want.
Mm-hmm.
And that Captain America, there's been better versions, but this one's got some cool articulation, but it doesn't have the scales. Like there's problems with all around, right? So 2-packs is a strategy they use to put that I think they're using it stronger now. But then if we look at the Fantastic Four, they drop the bed completely, right?
Yeah.
If you saw what the Fantastic Four release was, you're buying 2 Johnny Storms to have a proper Johnny Storm. You need one that is flame off and one that is flame on, but they're selling them individually. When why aren't they doing that as a 2-pack, right? What else did I say? Piggybacking off successful. I talked about that. Abundance of kit. So how many of us right now are buying figures, and not just from Hasbro, but with other lines where it's really not the figure that's bringing you in there, but everything else that comes with it, right? Like the
Oh yeah.
abundance of accessories.
Yeah. All the extra, the good stuff to swap around.
Right. So this is a strategy I think Hasbro's doing a little poorly. Like we just commended them on all the new Ninja kit, the Chris Vectors, and all this other stuff, right? But we also just talked about blast effects. And the Marvel Legends line is very similar. A lot of times, the way they're reflecting energy or flame is a repeat of the same piece over and over again, right? So once you get that abundance of kits, you start to resent that abundance of kit, if that
When you
makes
get the
sense.
same weapon that's not all that great, and you get it with every third or fourth release.
That's right.
So,
Look at low light sniper rifle. We loved it when it came with low light. We hated it by the time it got to Naugahyde. By the time it got to the 60th anniversary soldier, no one gave a shit.
yeah.
Right? It just could it please close. That's all I ask now. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, this abundance of kit, to push things, it can backfire. What else did I point out before? The way the updates. But did you have some stuff to bring it up? Because I mean, like those were the key ones that I was talking about. Like Hasbro uses a bunch of strategies, even just things like colors, the way that they express colors, right? I changed the colors on this figure. We have a whole new toy, don't we? It's
Yeah.
called Tiger Force,
Repaints. Yeah.
right? Yeah. So,
Yep. Python Patrol, Tiger Force,
yep.
all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, let me go back to my folder here because I've got some examples of things that I've got some gripes that they need to work on, and I've got some things that I think that they're doing right.
Yep.
Start with the things they could do, like the Viper 3-pack troop builder packs. This was a really good set. It was overpriced,
Mm-hmm.
but if they did some of their more popular troops and did 2-packs or 3-packs and held the price to a reasonable level, like this pack should have been 80, 75, 80 bucks tops, for packaging and accessories and whatnot. But I think they should do some 2-packs of, like, give us some 2-packs of Techno Vipers, or some that are going to sell, some blue shirts, stuff that they know is going to sell. You might not be able to do it with like Saw Viper or some shit like that, but do it with some figures like that. And we've seen it here. We really haven't seen it again, other than we saw it with the Valkyries, the Blue Ninjas, the Steel Core 2-pack, but Cobras are obviously where that strategy is going to stand out. I'd like to see that way you don't have to try to hunt down, if you want a couple. Like, I like to have a couple of the Trooper guys. I think that would be something that they could continue to do, and they wouldn't have to do it for every single one. Themed sets or themed 2-packs. The 788 Fire Team. Awful specialized, obviously, around the Hiss. They made a whole ass subset. They made a whole ass separate line out of the Hiss HasLab support. We haven't seen anything for the Dragonfly other than their Night Force. So if you're counting Night Force, maybe.
You have to. I think the identities of Joe and Cobra are separate. Cobra needs those support teams and troop builder forms in generic ways. Joe needs the heroes, right? So
yeah, that's why it's so hard to do like the green shirts. We want the green shirts, but you just don't have that many nameless, faceless Joe members. That's not what it was about. It was they were a team because they all had individual skills at the top of their fields.
Yeah.
So I got themed troop builders, mid-size vehicles with or without a figure. They said they only want to do vehicles with figures for the play factor, the world building. Do you think they would ever get to where they were doing vehicles without figures? Do you think they'd ever go back on that?
Yeah, I think they've already pivoted on that. And Snake Armor is the prime example of it, right?
Yeah.
To put a figure on it is going to bounce it out of a price point. If you need it to be in that price point, you have to compromise. And if that means retracting something you said earlier, so what? So what? Retract it and move on.
I think with things like the defense post and the Cobra whatever battle toilet, I think they will see stuff like that sell much better without a figure. And if they keep continuing to do stuff like that, I think especially on things like that, they'll probably find out it's going to sell better, especially if it's stuff that can snap together.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, and I'm going to jump in because it's one of those strategies that they've not doing that worked so well in the 80s line. In the 80s line, if there was a disruption between the waves of what we were expecting, you still had a very lucrative market of, in the meantime, toys coming out. Little small affordable sets like pack rats, terrain sets, little wind up cable runners that cost your mom $3 and shut you up while she finished groceries. They had something for the whole period that was always relatively new.
Yeah.
This line makes you wait months in between and hopes that the hype connects you. So yeah, losing figures out of vehicle sets and making things more affordable, that's the connective tissue.
I think you are 100% correct. So smaller vehicles without a figure, with or without a figure. So we all want a devilfish. The devilfish should not be a $60-$70 toy. I could see it being 55, but we don't need a figure with the devilfish. Now I've suggested or speculated, I guess, that I can see them releasing the devilfish with wetsuit, and I don't think anybody would complain about those two.
No.
But I also don't think anybody would complain if we get just the devilfish for $25 less and put whoever we want on it.
Yeah, and I don't think those are risky sales. That's the hard part. So it's got to have something to do with manufacturing and all that, where the cost doesn't become worth it, right? Because I think everybody in the chat would agree with you for the most part. Like, yeah, that makes sense. There are vehicles that do not require its own special guy,
Yeah.
right?
Because we didn't need a Televiper with the flight pod. We could, you
No.
could put any trooper with the flight pod, or no trooper. Say what's up to Steve. What's up, Delta 17? Um,
Yeah.
showed off
So
your Joe Fest exclusives earlier.
yeah. And so I'll use the Televiper as another thing that I think Hasbro, with the Joe line especially, they do extremely well, right? If you look at Marvel, like Marvel is always typecast to how they've been presented in the comics, and that's why you get the figures you get. You get so many of these because they were drawn so many different ways. GI Joe thematically, we just remember it that one fixed way from when it was presented to us in that first wave, right? Whether you stayed with it in later iterations, most of us are just coming back to it and classified. They leave themselves so much wiggle room to make one character and then remake that character 2 years later, just slightly different, and people gobble it up. And this is the prime example.
Yeah,
This retro
exactly.
Viper, you had just finished commending that 3-pack of Vipers, and you weren't wrong on a whole lot of it. I mean, people can complain about the weapons loadout, the price, you're right, but they were fine Vipers, right? But they left
Yeah.
themselves wiggle room to sell the exact same figure all over again. And troop
Yep.
builders, they know to do that with troop builders, like Televipers are.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sell that vehicle. You want a squad of Televipers. Well, guess what? You're gonna have a squad of Trouble Bubbles to go with it.
Yeah.
Um,
And Delta
and
17, 100% right on that.
yeah, did
Yeah.
not need a figure with the claw. Although I really
No.
dig the figure that's coming with the claw. Give me all the female troopers. But I did. You're right. I did not need one with the claw. I don't care how awesome I think she looks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Threw that in there. So this is like what McFarlane does. One regular. What about one regular character and one like pick the water robot from the cartoon or something larger? This is an avenue they could go down to kind of get some of the niche stuff out. I don't know if they would do it because I don't know if there's not enough of the niche stuff. It's just an idea
So
that I threw in.
I think you actually got your wish if you have a look at the Snake Eyes and the polar bear.
Yeah.
That's not exactly a companion set. That's a large animal with that. But yeah, I see the point you're making. And I agree. That's
And
something they could look at.
it's just one avenue they could kind of go down.
So like Fatal Fluffies. Have a bunch
Yes.
of Fatal Fluffies and one character, yeah, sure. I could see
Yeah.
it.
Or hell, do the big mutant, fatal fluffy, and then do a little one, a fully articulated little Glomer looking motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd
But
buy the shit out of that. I'd buy at least two. Something
the
like that.
question is also though, like, by the way, how'd that work for McFarlane?
Yeah, well, that's true, but I mean, he's probably
Yeah,
making
no,
16 versions of the same one too.
and they are completely different figures. We're talking apples and
Oh,
oranges,
right.
right? Yeah.
I
But
just the strategy of something, a little bit bigger toy with a little bit smaller toy. There's
Mhm.
enough out there they could do a few of these.
Yeah, oh, I just remember we just finished mentioning. Imagine, having a deluxe or under deluxe figure of classified that comes with a pack rat,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Tripwire with a pack rat. Not Tripwire because I mean we've already got him and he's
He's
perfect,
got
but
McLeod, yeah.
he would have been a good figure to come with a pack rat.
Yeah.
So
The
I threw
green
the
shirts.
yeah, yeah. I threw the Hunter in here, large vehicles with or without a figure. And I threw this in here because I keep going back to the made to order model, like they do with the Marvel Legends, they did with the Dragon Man. I really think they're probably going to wind up doing some of that stuff with Joe. I
Yeah.
think it's too successful of a model not to. It's not necessarily a HasLab, but that higher mid level to almost HasLab price stuff, make it to order. Give people a month to order it. Like, you want it, here it is. We're not, however many we get is however many there's going to be.
Mhm.
And not, it's like a HasLab without calling it a big HasLab, and you can do mid to lower large level stuff this way, and I think we'll see them do it before it's over.
Yeah. I would like to see more large stuff get on the market at a lower price. I think everybody would, but yeah. Then
Well,
it's
it's
about your space, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this fits perfectly into people that want it and have the space for it. They'll order it, and this is just for Target stuff that's like not quite big enough to be, be a HasLab mid level. I don't think you could do this with the Havoc or the Whale, but these tanks. I mean,
No.
this ramen tank's $200.
So
No,
this
no
is
lights, no sound.
Yeah. So and I don't know. We got Steve I'm assuming Steve is the one manning the Delta 17 account tonight, not Ken.
Yeah, that's
But
Steve.
we've got him in there, and it's great that he is there because I'm sure he's got opinions on all of this. But here's one of the things that occurs to me while we're talking about these problems, and we talk about the scale versus the price, right? Is in a long-term strategy, if I am going to keep this Joe franchise going, I am going to go immediately back after this to the 3 3/4 to 5 inch scale because of these vehicle problems and because of what I saw with the classified line and the demand for the innovation for this stuff. That is my next Joe line.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. But I can't see them going right down to 3 3/4 again. I think they'll try something new again. Right. But if it's somewhere in that 4 to 5 inch.
I don't know, man. I think they'll stay. I don't think they'll try to change the scale. It'd be one or the other. It would be.
Oh, I'm not talking the next couple of years. I'm just saying the next iteration of Joe is going back to small.
Next evolution. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Very, very well could be. And Pop
It
Blender
is Steve,
says yeah. Pop Blender says that's definitely a HasLab. Just don't know how they could do a tank that size without it being a HasLab piece. Well, so that's what I was saying. Like the ramen, this one, this tank's $200, and it is a crowdfunding, whatever. That's what Hasbro has done with some of the Marvel stuff. I keep going back to the Dragon Man. That's the most recent one, that I'm thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
They just it's basically like being a HasLab. It's just not quite, $200 in quite HasLab money.
And also we've got I would accept a lower quality depending on that price, right? Like I don't need a HasLab scale detailed tank every time. Maybe that's not my collecting budget, right? It's ours because we do stuff with our expensive stuff, but there's a lot of collectors out there that could be like, yep, this is my cap on a toy, right? But look over at the WWE figures, and when
Yeah.
they do a vehicle, right? They do an ambulance, they do a tractor trailer and all that. What are those priced at? How much detail is going in there? And what would happen if you added $50 worth of more of production to it? Would you get what you wanted?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah.
That's a good point. I don't see, like we were talking about with the Snowcat. Like, people probably watch this back and be like, oh, he's shitting on the Snowcat. I'm not. It's one of my favorite vehicles. I don't need the Snowcat with lights and whatever other shit they stick in it. I don't need 3 other figures with it. Give me $100 to $150 Snowcat with Frostbite, and let's rock it. I don't need it to be a HasLab. I think they could have picked something else. It's definitely iconic enough. It's good enough. I just think like that if they're gonna do vehicles like the Vamp and the Stinger and the All Striker, the Snowcat's not that much bigger than any of those.
Well, then let's flip the coin on that. You're with Hasbro, and I'm going to tell you, you're going to make a vehicle, but I want you to have 0 problems and 0 negative feedback on the 4 figures that we're going to push on this, because that's half of our sale right there. People are going to complain about that, but they're going to want the vehicles, right? So let's go Mauler. Pick me 4 figures right now.
Heavy duty, not heavy duty, heavy metal. I do that a lot.
Yeah.
Heavy metal,
the Mauler.
Heavy metal, Steeler.
Yeah.
Tank Cover Girl, and
a new cover girl variant. Yeah.
new cover girl, or whatever, like armored up or whatever, gunner,
Okay.
cover girl, whatever.
hmm
And let's say Grand Slam.
Why Grand Slam? What's he got to do with a tank?
Not a thing. He come to mind. So let's say let's not say Grand Slam. Let's say short fuse.
Okay. Short Fuse was he was a mortarman, infantry, and master defensives. But it just proved my point right there. How quickly
Oh,
could you come up for 4 guys in an Arctic theme with an Arctic vehicle? Like that, right? We had
oh
we
yeah,
had
yeah.
5, 6 Joes to pick from. On a feedback level, do you think anybody would question why any of those figures were included in that set? Would they complain and say it makes no sense, right? Wherein if you were to do the tag, yes, Steeler and Heavy Metal makes absolute sense. Cover Girl, what a great little ad that was. But if you waffle on that 4th figure, what's going to happen with everybody who bought it? Why'd you do this guy?
Yeah.
I didn't want him in this one. Oh, he
You
should
mean
be
like
Night
Crazy
Force.
Legs?
Yeah, right. So, to me, the Snowcat was a kind of a no brainer when you look at it in the afterthought. They're like, yeah, that's a complete package right there.
No, it's easy. It's easy to throw. I mean, they can do anything. They can do
Yeah,
any Arctic Joe or any itineration of a Joe that's ever been in a comic or cartoon in cold weather.
right. But okay, now can you release 4 Arctic Joes in a single wave and think they're going to move the same way? Like, I think they would be
No.
successful, but maybe you can't bank on that as a company, right? So,
Yeah, I don't. I think they would be successful, but not all at the same time. I
yeah,
just
no.
I don't think so.
Sub-Zero didn't really do it for us, eh?
Yeah, no, Sub-Zero can kiss my ass. I don't care how maximum he is. Yeah, I agree, Matthew. I don't think the Snowcat's a HasLab either. They'll make it enticing. Yeah, they'll make it. They'll make it. It'll be badass. I mean,
Mhm.
I want to back it.
I,
I feel like it's a kind of a waste of the HasLab model and moniker to do that with the Snowcat. I don't need lights in the Snowcat.
I'm gonna say it. I'm just glad it wasn't the tank this year. Not to say never do the tank, but it would made me feel a little bit less about having bought a ramen tank already. Right? Like I
Oh,
would have
right.
been like kind of going, well, shit. And so I kind of appreciate that they didn't put that heat on and they did something different, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I could understand why people think the Snowcat isn't a HasLab. But yeah, like you and Matt are saying, by the time they get done doing their HasLabiness to it, they'll do everything they can to make you understand why it's a HasLab.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll be able to put 4 figures inside of it and a couple hang off of it. I mean, I got no doubt it's going to be awesome, and I want the Snowcat. I just didn't want it as a HasLab.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and Matthew says it'd have to come with Arctic Duke, Arctic Scarlet, and Arctic Snake Eyes. No, please, God, no. I do not want maybe Scarlet. I do not want Arctic Duke or Arctic Snake Eyes. I am Snake Eyes out. I'm Duke. I got all the Dukes I need. So I've got the retro Duke. That's Duke. I don't need another Duke. I hope that's not what they put with it.
Well,
So I got.
I said the same thing though. Marvel, Capcom, same criticism. Why do you guys want these repaints? What about people that are new to the line that missed their opportunities to get some key characters? Like that's your revisit, right? Like I jump in
Yeah,
on this HasLab.
those aren't hard characters to get.
No, not right now. They're not. No.
I can still go find a retro Duke and a
Well,
Scarlet.
Jesus,
So,
look at the headaches I went through trying to find G.I. Joe Classified #1 Roadblock. He was everywhere for the longest time. By the time I wanted him, he was nowhere.
yeah, well, 100%. I got one more here,
Mhm.
and that is weapons, blast effects, and head packs to turn some of your characters into nameless, faceless troops. Now, I said for the longest that they're missing out not doing weapons packs and blast effects packs,
Mhm.
but they've reused the weapons so many times. They honestly don't have that many rock solid knock out of the park basic weapons. Now there's some really good ones,
Yeah.
but some of this stuff that we just talked about that have been in half a dozen, or more figures or 2-packs or whatever, if they threw them in there, nobody's going to want them. But some of the better ones, throw Copperhead's damn revolver with that scope in there.
Yep.
Throw the good Uzi that comes with one of the snake eyes. Throw that one in there, with some
So
blast effects, maybe some new blast effects.
I 100% agree with this. This was what I had written down as well about this, just from a different angle. But again, you'll remember, like, every second wave of GI Joe, there was a box of weapons that you could buy, right
Yeah,
there on
yeah,
the same pegs,
accessory
right?
pack.
So with Hasbro, like, I pointed it out on the Retro Viper, I could see where my rifle had been cut off the plastic sprue mold, right? You could see the clipping marks.
Mm-hmm.
Why Hasbro hasn't thought of making those sprues available for sale on their website, so I could say, I do want a brand new Cobra Viper loadout. I'm going to order that sprue.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, you could make money off this. I've always criticized them for allowing 3D printers to just take money that's on the table, because they leave it there. Because
they
that's
do leave
exactly
it
what
there.
they do. They leave the money on the table.
They definitely do with
Yeah.
all of that kind of stuff, and the head packs like this. I
Yeah.
like this that Vala does with these guys, and if they had a fucking universal neck peg,
Hmm.
neck ball joint, you could do weapons pack, and you could take that old ass Duke.
I
We were just talking. I picked him out of a hat because we just talked about Duke, and
mhm.
throw, this right here on him, and now that's not Duke. That's just some dude that's about to get,
I,
shot up or
I
whatever.
I agree. It's one of the things I often like that the Hasbro will do is second heads always draw another interest to the character, right?
Yeah,
Like, if I saw the second head for Dakin is what sold me on that Dakin figure, right? The one without the mask. Things like that happens in retail. So to have second head packs that you could put on any character, that's money on the table. And I think GI Joe could benefit from that as any other line. Like, having a Duke that's yelling, a half ripped off face mask on Snake Eyes, things
yeah,
like these, they're out there. I agree
yeah,
with you.
and
Yeah.
and it's stuff that people would want, like a half ripped off, battle damaged Snake Eyes, like you said. I mean, yeah, but which version? Because we've already got like 9, so
But imagine if these kind of things also became like convention exclusive items, like a more affordable convention exclusive, so you could save those higher ticket items for other availability. Like, just
yeah.
little gimmicks like this.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things like that they could do. So, um, now I got some gripe stuff too, not just some suggestion.
It's only fair.
And we'll go through these, and won't take a whole lot of time. You need to get on the road. So, you talked about this already tonight. A functioning app and a website. Their app, people say that it works better now. I don't know. I uninstalled it because I give up on it. I don't use anything other than the browser to order. I will not going to reinstall the app unless for some reason that stops working. But we've had issues with the app too. It was, ain't been that many months, last summer, fall, that the app crashed. Last year with you know, once a man Cobra Commander during that whole shit.
Mhm.
We're probably about to go back through next month. Um, hire a team that knows something about fucking web design and app design and marketing, and have them actually talk and make the shit fit together, because they got a bunch of departments that don't talk to each other, it seems like.
Yeah, man, I'm so glad you bring that up. I couldn't agree with you more. You're talking about a toy company, right, with headquarters in major cities. Why aren't you getting interns from a local college to come just intern and do your website and make it into something that communicates with the generation you want to take the money from? Like it's at that
It's
point, it's not even just futile, it's downright insulting sometimes to a lot of people.
it is unfathomable to think that $1 billion company like Hasbro that has been making toys and marketing and developing R&D, all this stuff for decades,
Mhm.
decades, and in the forefront, cutting edge, like, and they cannot get a team that can make a website and an app work and have them talk to the people that do the press releases and the marketing. How fucking hard is it to get one person from each department on a conference call?
Well, apparently very difficult at Hasbro. Other companies may not have this problem, but they do. And it's, it would be understandable, but it's been years. Like this isn't
Yes,
a new problem. This has been persistent throughout. They've
yeah,
changed PR teams more than they've changed their QR code team. So what?
yeah, we got QR codes that still go to nowhere. How hard is it to have somebody write a file card, somebody do a fucking graphic? I don't care at this point if it is a AI image with 9 fingers on each hand and write up a file card and then somebody put that shit and link it to the QR code. I could probably figure that out if I had, some time to work on it. Like these are
Honestly,
people that get paid to do it.
well, considering they work like the contracts they have are with companies that own the IPs anyways. They really you see it on the back of a Marvel Legends every now and then. They'll do a copy paste synopsis. They'll get somebody to write up a quick synopsis, right? So
Yeah.
somebody's doing these jobs and they're doing them kind of piss poorly sometimes because I've caught a couple of errors on Hasbro's Marvel write-ups. But with G.I. Joe, it's kind of like Hasbro doesn't even acknowledge there's a whole market of people trying to pad resumes out there. And this is a massive opportunity that they wouldn't even ask for a dime for. You could get
Yeah.
this for free.
Just to be part of it.
Yeah.
Just to be part of it.
Just say that, yes, we did allow him to do that. He did a good job. You should hire that guy.
I'm a, I'm pop blender. I'm getting ready to. I'm gonna send myself this picture here real quick and show this
Yeah.
picture.
I'm fighting off a
Because
raccoon.
he said that. Is Zartan out there? Your chipmunk?
No, I got a family of raccoons that like to go through this neighborhood, and one of them's stalking me right now.
Are they like the ones in Great Outdoors where they knock over all the trash cans and shit?
Yes, yeah.
They
Yeah.
are.
Oh yeah. One wants in my garage so bad he's always pissed because it's only open when I'm outside of it. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Oh, all right. So I'm gonna
Pop sent you
just
something.
I sent it to myself here.
Yeah.
So let's see. Because I said something about AI. I saw this picture. Ain't my picture. Somebody shared it on Facebook the other day, and I grabbed it and I sent it to him, and he's like, "Oh, you gotta share that." So let me find where I put it here. Where did I put it? But it's this damn AI picture. But I don't know why, man. I don't know why they cannot get somebody that can just make all of the stuff work together. It just makes no sense at all that it's still an issue.
You have to have a degree of humility. All the criticism that we throw, at these companies, it's not like there's probably not a guy kind of like us working at that company going, thinking the exact same thing. Something somewhere has to put a boundary or a restriction on why they don't do this stuff. And it's got to be something at, money level, shipping level, resource level, right? But it's frustrating to watch when you can't figure it out and you're like, it looks so simple, guys. You know?
Well, I mean, that seems like something that should be a pretty cut and dried practice. I mean, all other businesses can figure it out.
Yeah.
So, here's the picture he was talking about. So, the picture, Storm Shadow and Spirit shaking hands. So, tell me what you see with this picture. Do you see
I see
anything?
the weirdest hand grips I've ever seen in my life. These guys are merging souls. They're gonna become each other.
Spirit has
His
two
hand
right
is
hands.
his so his hand is over top and underneath the hand all at once. His fingers are about 12 inches long and have
It's the wrong hand.
and
It's a
it's the
right
wrong
hand on
hand.
a
Yeah.
left arm.
There's that. Yeah, my God, this guy's got nothing but knuckles going on, man. And what's going on inside Storm Shadow's hand? Yeah, okay. He's under the glove too. That's the best part.
You're right.
Like that's a
So,
sexual handshake right there.
and then Snake Eyes is just back there, like, what's going on with y'all's hands, man? And this is not other than the looking Photoshop timber and freedom. Like, it's not a bad AI picture, and then you see that, and you're like, oh shit, never
Oh
mind.
no. I already see one of the instructions they gave the AI that it took literally. Everybody is looking straight forward. If you look, everybody is looking directly either left, right, or straight at us.
It's so bad. It could have
Yeah.
been okay. It could have been all right, but man, they messed it up though. They said,
Oh no, no, that's clear sign. There's a new live action movie coming, guys. Come on, let's
oh
blow this
yeah,
up.
that's the Legend of the Fist, GI Joe, the Legend of the
Yeah.
Secret Handshake. Steve says, catch a baby raccoon. He had a baby and had to give it up.
Yeah.
And then
If I
Purple
found
Elf
an
says
orphan, yeah.
his hand is on the wrong side. So Purple Elf actually has some South American raccoons,
Oh, okay.
Cotamundis, and they are awesome.
I got
Turk,
cats that think they're raccoons. Get out of there, you.
Turk says, I bet he's a pocket pool champion. All right, let's get on with this. So, uh, why not make enough when you make the shit? Pre-orders shouldn't sell out.
Mm.
Shit that's not coming out for 6 months or 8 months. That shit should not sell out when you put it up for pre-orders. Adjust your quantities. This shit you shouldn't make it hard to get. You want to sell it to us, make the stuff where we can actually get it. This bullshit, this selling out in 3 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever, man. So along with that, FOMO, weaponized FOMO, fuck it. And let's see what all. So I've got these release dates, man. Pick a date. I know it's hard to, there's delays and factories and whatever, but I would like to see them do away with digital renders and name only reveals and all this bullshit that drives this FOMO. Dispense with it and show us the shit when you got it. If there's a gap, okay, there's a gap. Tell us what's going on. They don't communicate, and they're not going to communicate a bunch of behind the scenes stuff, but at least give a heads up with what's going on. Like, this year, expect delays between releases. Why? Well, we know it's because they're switching to a new factory, but they didn't really they've talked about it in interviews, but they didn't make any kind of statement. So if you need that information, you have to hunt it down. But all these name only reveals, this digital renders, I wouldn't care if they went back to release everything you're going to release in a year once or twice during that year.
I actually think
And
that it's the stronger approach is, you can say it's because I'm still stuck on the nostalgia, but they're using an old dog to play new tricks and it's not working, right? Like I'll keep you on the hook using digital renders and name only reveals to keep you hoping that this line accomplishes what you want as a consumer. right? And then when you see it, everything will work. And yeah, that strategy works for a lot of people, but so did the old back when we saw the whole thing, because we just saw the art of the figures that we were
Yeah.
expecting. We didn't see the figures, we didn't see all the accessories, all that stuff. That can still happen a week before they're released on the open market or whatever. But that was all we needed to know what was coming back in the day. It satisfied us. It was like, cool. And
Yep.
in this economy, being able to budget for your hobby is important. And I find Hasbro at time, it shows they don't really understand what their consumer spends like in
No,
one pop.
they don't. And, you know, their goal is to get all the money. And they talk about on these streams and stuff, budgets, and, you know, don't want to hit you with too much at once. And then they'll turn around and drop 8 or 9 pre orders, $500 or whatever worth of shit in a day, and then have pre orders again in a week or two, like they're going to do
Well,
this month.
I also look at the timing of their large asks, right? Like, yes, a lot of the times the HasLab is coming out either at the beginning of a school year when your parents are trying to get their kids outfitted for school and everything is like, oh, okay, do I have 300 extra bucks to buy a HasLab right now? He needs how many pairs of pants and a backpack? Or you're close to Christmas when that bill's coming and you've already got your Christmas bills. So it's just kind of like going, you know, the way that they release things, it's not consumer friendly. I know they don't care, right? We care, they don't. But these are the things that keep people going. Should I even be collecting right now? Hi. Okay.
He said, "You smell like raccoon. What are you doing out there?"
No, he just wants his kiss. He's a
Matthew
lover.
says, they do the name only in the render reveals because people are getting insider info and hacking the codes. They do it so they can control the release of information. I don't really think that shit is leaking. I don't. I'm sure it happens, but the shit happens, you know, way too often. Like, if they wanted to clamp down on that, I think they could clamp down on it a little harder.
Yeah, no,
I,
and
I hate leaks.
I get Matt's point though. Like it's their way of being safe with their IPs to make sure that nobody else is going to, you know, jump in at the wrong time with something and do something harmful to their company. I get that, but at the same time, it's gets confusing as a collector. What's bringing you to the line sometimes? You know, is it the excitement or is it the actual fig? Because a lot of the times I hear a lot of people committing to something just because it was a name drop.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
And Ronnie Trickshot agrees. Show us the whole wave. Yeah, the drip feed. I don't, but it's that FOMO model that they don't just use it; they embrace it. It's driving a lot of what they're doing.
and it's counterintuitive to the instant gratification that this generation demands. If you want prime example, what do you like better, when Disney puts out an episode once a week or when you can binge watch an entire series as of this date?
Yeah, I like watching it, binge watching it all.
You like having the option of having that information, knowing, okay, there's 6 episodes. They're each 45 minutes. Now I know what I'm getting into.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I just got to worry about this guy spoiling it though. But other than that,
Different
so
issue.
if they changed to that, like, what do you think? I think it was the last point that I got. So what if they did change to that, where we didn't get um, any more leaks, any more renders or anything like that? But if they come out and in December, they said, all right, these are the figures we're going to release in the first 6 months of the next year. And you get a list of whatever, 10, you know, whatever figures. We're going to throw in a couple of surprises and we'll let you know when the stuff releases, but it's all coming out at once.
Yep.
And find it. Like, you know, you're going to have this long, we're going to release it, it's going to be out there, you got this long to get it all at your own pace, and it's there. And then in 6 more months we're going to do the rest of them for the
Yep.
year. And sometimes that's going to get delayed, it ain't always going to work. But would you like that better? And in the chat, people that are listening, would you like that better, or do you enjoy this fucking bullshit model that they do.
Well, they don't make them very tempted to agree that they do like it, what you call bullshit. But what's they said? They also test the market responses to the reveals. They're not going to change the design, but they may change the quantities. Yeah, yeah. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
they're
it. Yeah, the quantities. I mean, that they can adjust the quantities.
mm. So
Pre-orders selling out is absolutely ridiculous. And if you see
honestly,
that it goes, go ahead and order more.
yeah, I'm with you on if they were to change it tomorrow and go to what I was saying or you were saying about show us the entire wave, but to put the dates under them, like this is wave one, next row's wave two, next row's wave three. They're coming out on these dates. Let
Mm-hmm.
people control it, all of that. That's great. It would only work if Hasbro were execute it exactly as it said on the back of that box, and those dates were met and they didn't have regional distribution issues like dial tone where half the country gets them and another half never sees them the entire time. But you also hit a key point. You still have to throw a couple surprises in there. You
Yeah.
need people to be on their back foot, not sure if it's really all just that, and you need to tell them it's not, right?
Yeah. So like we're looking at a card back and we're talking and you're like, well, I got all of these guys. I finished this row. I found them all. And I'm like, yeah, well, I got all of them too. It's like, but did you see this guy or this vehicle or this thing? And you're like,
Mhm.
no, what is that? That's not on there. I'm like, yeah, it's one. It showed up. It's start looking for it. It's one of the surprise things that they didn't tell us about.
It's a chase,
Yeah,
right? Like,
it's a
yeah, yeah.
chase, but it's not. It's a chase, but it's not because you can actually get it. You just all of a
Mhm.
sudden go in, you're like, oh, I didn't know that was coming. Like,
Yeah. It'll always confound me how this line can impress us so much with how it hits that nostalgia bone. It can do things like these great figures, and you chime how great GI Joe is, but all the strategies that we say they're reflecting, all the strategies that they used to push GI Joe before, they're ignoring, right? And it's
yes,
almost ironic because it's this is the last generation those strategies really work the best with, you
yeah,
know.
because you're getting ready to start having the kids that grew up with mostly electronics and a few hand-me-down figures,
Yeah.
and then you're going to get into the ones that didn't really have figures that they cared a lot about.
You do not have to market GI Joe the same way you market Marvel Legends because the consumer market for the product is actually a bit different than a Marvel Legends consumer base. There's overlap,
Mhm.
but this is ongoing all the time and has never stopped. GI Joe has come in waves,
Yeah.
right? And generationally. So
Punk says it all the time. GI Joe collectors are not necessarily toy collectors.
there's that too.
There's some validity to that.
Yeah, there's
Um,
meat to that. Yeah.
well, that was all the points that I had to make. Did you have anything else you wanted to
No,
add? So just some gripes and some things that we think they could take advantage of, some things they're doing right, and some things that are kind of screwed up. So, uh overall, man, I mean, I still love the brand.
yeah.
I bitch about it all the time, but I mean, I'm still happy with it. It's still fun to collect.
Yeah.
I got my nitpicks, but overall the figures are getting better. The weapons are not gummy anymore. Um, I just some of the things they do that are kind of cash grabs, I'm not thrilled about. But overall, man, I mean, I'm still happy collecting GI Joe. It's nostalgia. It's one of the happiest things I've ever, that I remember. So that time, nostalgia is still driving the car for me. So
100%. And that's the same with me. It's, I'll romanticize this line so much, but I'll be fully aware that's what I'm doing. Like, it's not like they're you know, the perfect line, but I think they do more right than they do wrong. I think we just notice the wrong a lot more loudly.
yeah, I'm definitely guilty of that. I mean, I say a lot with them. Like it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Like one thing's awesome, they'll do and improve, and then something else will just kind of fall through the crack. And you're like, well, that was fine. Like, like the plastic got better, like, but then they'll do something like, the boxes or whatever. And like, well, okay, if you had to sacrifice artwork to get a better quality of plastic, then okay. But I think it's
That
still
works
pretty
for
good.
some. Yeah.
So what you got coming up on the Crusty Old Crow channel, man? Yeah, I know you going camping this weekend, so
Yeah, I was hoping maybe to get some new Joes to take with me, but I don't think I will. So I'm gonna try and bang out a review on the Gamerverse Venom because I'm pretty smitten. You guys saw me playing with him the whole time, so
he looks fun,
definitely
man.
he is fun. He is fun. I like him. So I'll get a review on that. Then I'm going camping with my fam to the cottage this weekend, so I'm not going to do a live this weekend, but I think I'm going to do another Saturday live the following weekend. And hopefully by then I'll have some more figures to talk about by then.
Are you gonna try and shoot anything while you're up there? Just like not necessarily toy related, but just like, we're out in the woods and that's what we're doing. Or
I want to do some shots with some toys just because it's cottage country. And if you've never been to Ontario cottage country, it's one of the most photogenic things on this continent. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, I'm going to have my dad and my kid with me. I'm going to be spending a lot of time with them. I don't know how much time I can put into toys and photography, but I'll try.
yeah, much as you want to, that's not what you're there for at that time. So
Correct.
yeah, I haven't been down really to my property this year, and been down to the creek and done anything down there this year. So I'm gonna try to 4th of July. I'm gonna try to get down there and do that, and hopefully get some down there, some pictures down there. But so that's it. Well, you got
what do you got on the
waiting
go this week?
You waiting on any other Joes other than the standard wave whenever they come out for you?
Same one everybody else is.
Okay.
Heavy duty roadblock. I think heavy duty. I was looking at Amazon. He's actually going to be sooner than most. But yeah, no, I'm still waiting like everybody else. So
Yeah,
it'll be a surprise. Like it'll be as surprising to me as surprising to you what I review next, I guess.
I think those guys are probably gonna. I don't know about. I know. I think heavy duty's end of June.
Something like that.
And then they've got the Frag Viper wave, I think, for the 24th. So, which, I don't have them ordered on Amazon, but maybe I should because that's the Tuesday after Joe Fest. I'll be off that day. I don't know. We'll see. No, I don't. I don't have anything. I don't think I've got anything ordered other than those guys that are coming in to review. So I don't know. Try and maybe do some pictures or something, do some Instagram. It's going to be raining again this weekend, I think. So,
lucky. Yeah.
If we wind up going to that con, I'll probably do some footage from it. I don't know. Kind of undecided on that.
And then
Pop says, "Where's my dial tone?"
Yeah, right. Yeah, I feel bad for a lot of people on that one, but you and Pop are getting together next Wednesday, correct?
Yep.
That's this Wednesday.
Yep, this week from tonight, we'll be back here on Sevens Wild and probably doing a little bit of talk about Joe Fest. I would imagine that's kind of the plan. And then, well, it's about all. Not a whole lot going on. So
I wanted to say something really quick to the backyard battlefield group while they were there because I forgot last time and now here we are. We're in June. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching the videos out of May Power of the Force. That was, that meant a lot more, probably more to the creators than it did to the subscribers. But it was a channel support endeavor, and your guys watching that was awesome. And I also wanted to say good on Darren because you wound up doing 2 videos, right? Was it just the 2, or did you do a third?
No, I did 2. I had another figured if I needed to do a third one, but I only did 2.
Yeah, so I just wanted to just say we're into Yojo June now, but you know, so long as because we both made videos, thank you very much for, you know, helping us participate in that through May. Appreciate it.
That was fun, man. I enjoy doing that, and I enjoy
Yeah.
watching them. I've watched them all. I like to call attention, like at the beginning of May, like it's all anybody's talking about, but there's so many, it kind of
Mhm.
it drags in the middle. So like to keep
Yeah.
bringing attention to it because it's still fun and everybody's still doing good content and funny videos and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, everybody that
And
checked that out, appreciate it.
and we should also thank Allison, Troy, and Punk with Toys for putting it on and for allowing us to participate in it. We look forward to next year. You know, standard script right there on that.
Yeah,
That's all I
yep,
wanted to make sure we
yep.
touched on that.
Definitely looking forward to doing that. I do have a quick update on poor C3PO from Woody's video.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that poor guy.
Wait till next year.
Do have an update on Tuco Viper. He's
Oh, good.
actually moved and moving, which is, kind of unusual. I'm used to wondering where he's at. So he is traveling around. So it's up to Shark Eyes. What's going on,
Hey, buddy.
Mr. Adam? And he says Melbourne is better than Sydney. They're not talking about the city. Anytime you hear them say Sydney, they're not talking about the city of Sydney. They're talking about the Sweeney of Sydney. Yes. Yes. Oh, and if you have not checked out Shark Eyes Crystal Ball review, go
Yeah.
over there and check that out. As jealous as I am, I'm gonna say it. God damn it. But did a really good job, man. It was a good look at that figure. I can't wait to get that guy. So I appreciate you showing us Crystal Ball, man. You're the first one on the interwebs to have him in hand and do a review. So I will live in your shadow. But good review, man. I dig that figure. I can't wait to get him. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is about all I've got for you tonight. So we got 21 folks watching. Hit that like button if you haven't.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for sticking around, guys.
If you're not subscribed to Crusty Old Crow somehow, get over there and check out his channel and awesome stuff he does and builds. Got a lot of good content creators in here right now. So scroll through the chat because all these little red symbols with the white arrow in them, those are all YouTube folks. So if you don't know any of them, check them out. I have a feeling you do, though. All right, Mr. Crow, I hope you have a good weekend. Have a good time on your camping trip. And I'm going to be chilling right here, probably hanging out with Purple Elf some this weekend and getting into some trouble. Chat. I'll see you guys next week with cousin Brandon for Sevens Wild. And other than that, Backyard Battlefield out.
Yeah.